I really like frogs. These are just a few reasons why I like frogs. Frogs are a fascinating and diverse group of amphibians that inhabit a wide range of ecosystems around the world. They belong to the order Anura, which is derived from the Greek words an, meaning without, and aura, meaning tail. This name aptly describes frogs since they are characterized by their lack of tails, which distinguishes them from their close relatives, the salamanders and newts. Here, we'll explore the incredible diversity of frog species, highlighting their unique adaptations, behaviors, and ecological roles. 1. Geographic distribution. Frogs can be found on every continent except Antarctica. They are most diverse in tropical regions, but they also inhabit temperate and even arid environments. Some species are highly specialized, such as the tree frogs of the rainforests, while others have adapted to more extreme conditions, like the spadefoot toads that thrive in deserts. 2. Morphological diversity. Frogs exhibit a remarkable array of shapes, sizes, and colors. Some are small enough to fit on a fingertip, while others, like the Goliath frog of West Africa, can grow as large as a human foot. Their colors range from cryptic camouflage to vibrant, warning colors that signal toxicity to potential predators. 3. Life history strategies. Frogs employ various reproductive strategies. Most lay eggs in water, which hatch into aquatic tadpoles. However, some species give birth to live froglets, and a few even incubate their eggs on their backs. The diversity in breeding methods allows frogs to adapt to various aquatic and terrestrial habitats. 4. Ecological roles. Frogs play critical roles in ecosystems as both predators and prey. They feed on insects and other small invertebrates, helping to control pest populations. Additionally, their tadpoles are important herbivores in aquatic systems. On the flip side, they are prey for a variety of animals, from snakes and birds to mammals. 5. Behavior and communication. Frogs are known for their diverse vocalizations, which they use for communication and mating. Each species has a unique call, allowing them to recognize potential mates and competitors. Some frogs also employ visual cues, such as colorful skin patterns, to signal their fitness or warn predators. 6. Specialized adaptations. Different species of frogs have specialized adaptations to their specific environments. For example, tree frogs have adhesive toe pads that allow them to climb vertical surfaces and cling to leaves. Desert-dwelling frogs have adapted to bury themselves underground during dry periods and emerge during rain events to breed. 7. Evolutionary history. Frogs have a long evolutionary history dating back over 200 million years. Fossil records indicate that they coexisted with dinosaurs. Over time, frogs have diversified into thousands of species, each with unique features that have allowed them to adapt to a wide range of ecological niches. 8. Threats and conservation. Despite their remarkable diversity, frogs are facing numerous threats today. Habitat destruction, pollution, climate change, and disease, notably the chytrid fungus, have led to population declines and extinctions in many species. Conservation efforts are underway to protect these ecologically important creatures, with a focus on preserving their habitats and captive breeding programs for endangered species. In conclusion, the diversity of frog species is a testament to their ability to adapt and thrive in a wide range of environments. These remarkable amphibians contribute to the balance of ecosystems and offer valuable insights into the complexities of life on Earth. Understanding and conserving this diversity is crucial for maintaining the health and stability of our planet's ecosystems. Frogs are remarkable creatures that have evolved various mechanisms for survival, and one of their most fascinating adaptations is their incredible camouflage. Camouflage is a crucial defense strategy that helps frogs blend into their surroundings, making them less visible to predators and increasing their chances of survival. Here's a detailed exploration of the amazing camouflage abilities of frogs. Color and pattern matching. Frogs come in a wide range of colors and patterns that closely mimic their natural habitats. This remarkable coloration helps them blend seamlessly into their surroundings, making it difficult for predators to spot them. For example, Green tree frogs are perfectly suited to leafy environments, while brown and mottled frogs are well suited to blend in with the mud or soil. Skin texture: the skin of frogs often has textures that resemble the surfaces they inhabit. Some frogs have rough, bumpy skin that resembles the texture of tree bark, while others have smooth skin that matches the appearance of leaves. This texture adaptation further aids in their camouflage. Cryptic behavior: frogs are known for their cryptic behavior, which means they often stay motionless for extended periods. This behavior, combined with their camouflage, makes them nearly invisible to predators. When a frog sits still on a leaf or a branch, it becomes a part of the scenery. Countershading: many frog species exhibit countershading, where their bodies are darker on the upper side and lighter on the underside. This adaptation helps them blend into their surroundings, whether they are viewed from above or below. This is particularly useful when frogs are in or around water bodies. Behavioral camouflage: some frog species not only rely on their physical appearance for camouflage but also use behavioral camouflage. For instance, certain frogs will adjust their body position and coloration to match the changing light and shadows in their environment. This makes them incredibly difficult to detect even when their surroundings change. Nocturnal camouflage: nocturnal frogs have evolved specific adaptations to blend into their nighttime environments. Their skin can appear darker, and they often have large eyes adapted for low light conditions. These adaptations help them hide from nocturnal predators and become efficient nighttime hunters themselves. Specialized camouflage techniques: some frog species take their camouflage to the next level with specialized techniques. For example, the Amazon horned frog is a master of ambush predation. It has a broad, flattened body with a leaf-like appearance, and it waits patiently on the forest floor for unsuspecting prey to pass by, relying on its excellent camouflage to remain undetected. Seasonal camouflage: some frogs change their colors throughout the year to match the changing seasons and their respective habitats. This allows them to stay hidden and thrive in a variety of conditions. In conclusion, the camouflage abilities of frogs are nothing short of astonishing. They have evolved a myriad of strategies to remain hidden from predators and potential threats. This remarkable adaptation is a testament to the incredible diversity and ingenuity of the natural world, where survival often hinges on the ability to remain unseen and blend into the environment. Frogs, with their incredible camouflage, exemplify this principle of nature's creativity and adaptability. A frog's jumping ability is nothing short of astonishing and has long captured the fascination of scientists, nature enthusiasts, and curious minds alike. These small amphibians possess a remarkable adaptation that allows them to leap great distances with impressive precision and power. In this exploration of a frog's jumping ability, we'll delve into the mechanics behind their jumps, the evolutionary advantages of this skill, and some fascinating facts about these incredible leaps. Mechanics of frog jumping: frogs have a unique musculoskeletal system designed for jumping. Their hind limbs are adapted for powerful and explosive movements, while their front limbs are more specialized for stability and balance. The key components contributing to their remarkable jumps include powerful leg muscles. Frogs have robust leg muscles, particularly in their hind limbs. These muscles contract rapidly and forcefully, generating the necessary force to propel them into the air. Tendons and elasticity: frogs' leg tendons are exceptionally elastic. As the leg muscles contract, they store energy in these tendons like a spring. When the frog releases this stored energy, it propels itself off the ground. Shortened pelvis: frogs have shortened pelvis bones that enhance their jumping capabilities. These adaptations help to maximize the leverage their leg muscles can exert. Sticky toe pads: many frogs have sticky toe pads that aid in gripping surfaces during takeoff and landing, allowing them to jump from various terrains effectively. Evolutionary advantages: frogs have evolved their incredible jumping abilities for several critical reasons. Predator avoidance: jumping allows frogs to quickly escape from predators. Their rapid and unpredictable leaps make it challenging for predators to catch them. Hunting strategy: Frogs are primarily carnivorous and use their jumping skills to capture insects and other small prey. They can make precise leaps to snatch prey with their long, sticky tongues. Mating rituals: during the breeding season, male frogs often engage in impressive jumping displays to attract females. The height and distance of their jumps can be indicative of their fitness as potential mates. Environmental adaptation: frogs live in a variety of habitats, from forests to wetlands. Their jumping ability allows them to navigate these diverse landscapes efficiently. Fascinating facts: here are some intriguing facts about frog jumping abilities. Long jumps: some frog species can jump up to 20 times their body length in a single leap. That's like a human jumping over a 100-foot-long obstacle. Jumping diversity: different frog species exhibit a wide range of jumping abilities. Some are renowned for their extraordinary leaps, while others have more modest jumping skills. Accelerated speed: frogs can jump with incredible speed. They can reach takeoff speeds of up to 4.4 meters, 14.4 feet, per second. Precise landing: despite their impressive leaps, frogs are remarkably adept at landing accurately, often landing within a few inches of their intended target. Muscle efficiency: frogs' leg muscles are incredibly efficient. They use less energy to jump than many other animals use for similar tasks. In conclusion, a frog's jumping ability is a testament to the remarkable adaptations that have evolved in the natural world. Their powerful leg muscles, elastic tendons, and specialized skeletal structures allow them to perform astonishing leaps with precision and grace. Whether it's for escaping predators, catching prey, or impressing potential mates, the frog's jumping prowess is a testament to the incredible diversity of life on Earth. Frogs are remarkable creatures, and one of their most fascinating features is their sticky tongues. These specialized tongues play a crucial role in a frog's life, aiding them in hunting, capturing prey, and even defending themselves from predators. Let's delve deeper into the world of frog tongues and explore the incredible adaptations that make them so unique. Anatomy of a frog's tongue: a frog's tongue is a muscular and elongated structure located at the front of its mouth. Unlike human tongues, which are mostly flat and flexible, frog tongues are specialized for catching and consuming prey. They are covered in a sticky mucus that helps trap insects and other small prey items. The tongue's muscles allow it to be rapidly extended to capture prey, and it can retract just as quickly. Sticky secretion: the stickiness of a frog's tongue is a result of a specialized mucus that coats its surface. This mucus is produced by numerous glands located in the frog's mouth. When the frog spots prey, it swiftly extends its tongue, and the mucus on its tongue adheres to the prey. This adhesive quality helps the frog secure its meal effectively. Tongue projection: frog tongues are incredibly fast and can be projected with remarkable precision. Some species can extend their tongues up to 2 times their body length in a fraction of a second. This quick action allows them to catch flying insects or swiftly capture prey on the ground, often before it has a chance to react. Versatility in prey capture: frog tongues are versatile tools for hunting. While they are most commonly associated with catching insects, they are also used to capture a variety of other prey, including small vertebrates like fish, other frogs, and even birds. Frogs adapt their tongue projection and targeting to suit different types of prey. Predator avoidance: frog tongues not only serve as efficient hunting tools but also play a role in defense. Some frog species have evolved to have toxic secretions on their skin, and they may use their sticky tongues to smear these toxins on potential predators as a deterrent. This clever adaptation helps frogs defend themselves against would-be attackers. Variation in frog tongues: frog tongues come in various shapes and sizes, depending on the frog species and diet. For example, aquatic frogs that primarily feed on fish tend to have broader and flatter tongues, while tree-dwelling frogs have longer, more pointed tongues for catching flying insects. Ongoing research: scientists continue to study frog tongues to better understand their remarkable capabilities. Research on the biomechanics of frog tongues has inspired the development of sticky adhesives for various applications, including medical devices and robotics. In conclusion, frog tongues are extraordinary adaptations that have evolved over millions of years to make frogs highly successful hunters. Their incredible speed, precision, and stickiness make them one of the most efficient tools in the animal kingdom for capturing prey. Studying frog tongues not only deepens our understanding of these fascinating creatures but also has practical implications in fields beyond biology, such as materials science and technology. Frog metamorphosis is a fascinating and intricate process that amphibians undergo as they transition from aquatic tadpoles to terrestrial adult frogs. This transformation is a critical adaptation that allows them to survive in both aquatic and terrestrial environments. In this article, we will delve into the various stages and factors involved in frog metamorphosis. 1. The life cycle of frogs. Frogs go through a complex life cycle that typically consists of several stages. A. Egg stage. The frog life cycle begins when adult frogs lay eggs in water, typically in ponds, lakes, or streams. These eggs are often laid in clusters or gelatinous masses to protect them from predators. B. Tadpole stage. Once the eggs hatch, they give rise to tadpoles, which are essentially aquatic larvae. Tadpoles have long, fin tails, gills for breathing underwater, and they primarily feed on algae and other aquatic plants. C. Metamorphosis stage. This is the most remarkable phase of a frog's life cycle. During metamorphosis, tadpoles undergo a series of dramatic changes in their physiology and anatomy to become adult frogs. D. Adult frog stage. After completing metamorphosis, the tadpole transforms into an adult frog with lungs for breathing air, 4 legs for terrestrial locomotion, and a diet that often includes insects and other small prey. Adult frogs also develop specialized adaptations such as webbed feet, sticky tongues for catching prey, and waterproof skin. 2. Environmental triggers. Several environmental factors trigger the onset of metamorphosis in tadpoles. The primary factors include: A. Water temperature. Temperature plays a crucial role in determining the pace of metamorphosis. Warmer water temperatures generally accelerate the process, while cooler temperatures can slow it down or even pause it. B. Nutrient availability. Adequate food resources are essential for tadpoles to fuel their growth and development. A scarcity of food can delay metamorphosis. C. Predator presence. The presence of predators, especially insects and aquatic insects like dragonfly larvae, can stimulate tadpoles to undergo metamorphosis sooner as a survival strategy. 3 stages of metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a gradual process that unfolds over several weeks or months, depending on various factors. It typically includes the following stages. A. Resorption of tail. One of the most noticeable changes is the resorption of the tadpole's tail. As the tail regresses, the frog's legs become more pronounced. B. Development of lungs. During this phase, the tadpole's gills start to recede, and the lungs begin to develop. This allows the frog to breathe air. C. Changes in diet. As tadpoles transition into adult frogs, their diet shifts from plant-based to insectivorous. Their digestive system adapts accordingly. D. External morphological changes. Adult frogs acquire their distinctive physical characteristics during metamorphosis. This includes the development of skin glands, webbed feet, and specialized eyes and tongue for hunting. For adaptive significance, frog metamorphosis is a remarkable adaptation that enables them to occupy both aquatic and terrestrial habitats. This flexibility is crucial for their survival, as it allows them to escape aquatic predators and exploit terrestrial food resources. 5. Importance of metamorphosis in research. Frog metamorphosis is not only a fascinating natural phenomenon but also a subject of extensive research. Scientists study it to gain insights into developmental biology, endocrinology, and the impact of environmental factors on amphibian populations. Additionally, frogs are used as model organisms in various fields of research, including toxicology and genetics. In conclusion, frog metamorphosis is a captivating and essential aspect of their life cycle. It represents nature's remarkable ability to adapt and thrive in different environments. Understanding the intricacies of this process not only enhances our knowledge of amphibian biology but also provides valuable insights into broader areas of scientific research. The amphibious lifestyle of frogs is a fascinating adaptation that has allowed them to thrive in both aquatic and terrestrial environments. These remarkable creatures belong to the class Amphibia, which includes three main groups: frogs and toads, Anura, salamanders and newts, Caudata, and caecilians, Gymnophiona. Frogs are perhaps the most well-known and diverse group of amphibians, and they exemplify the amphibious lifestyle in many ways. Habitat diversity: frogs are found on every continent except Antarctica, showcasing their adaptability to a wide range of habitats. They inhabit various ecosystems, including freshwater ponds, lakes, streams, swamps, rainforests, deserts, and even urban areas. This adaptability is due to their amphibious nature, allowing them to move between aquatic and terrestrial environments. Aquatic phase: frogs start their lives as tadpoles, which are entirely aquatic. Tadpoles have gills for breathing underwater and feed on algae and plant matter. During this stage, they are vulnerable to aquatic predators, such as fish and insects, but their amphibious lifestyle allows them to eventually transition to land. Metamorphosis: one of the most remarkable aspects of frogs' amphibious lifestyle is their metamorphosis from aquatic tadpoles to terrestrial adults. As they undergo this transformation, they develop lungs for breathing air and lose their gills. Their bodies undergo significant changes, including the development of limbs for movement on land. Dual respiratory systems: adult frogs possess both lungs and skin capable of gas exchange. When in water, they primarily respire through their skin, which is thin and highly vascularized. On land, they rely more on their lungs. This dual respiratory system enhances their ability to survive in both environments. Feeding behavior: frogs exhibit a diverse range of feeding behaviors, which are often linked to their amphibious lifestyle. They are opportunistic predators, consuming insects, small invertebrates, and sometimes even small vertebrates. Their sticky tongues and powerful jaws are adapted for capturing prey. They hunt both in water and on land, taking advantage of their versatile lifestyle. Reproduction: frogs typically return to water for reproduction. They lay eggs in aquatic environments, and these eggs hatch into tadpoles. The aquatic phase of their life cycle allows for better protection of their offspring from terrestrial predators. Thermoregulation: frogs are ectothermic, meaning they rely on external sources of heat to regulate their body temperature. Their amphibious lifestyle helps with thermoregulation since they can move between water and land to maintain their optimal body temperature. Behavioral adaptations: frogs have evolved various behaviors to thrive in their dual environments. Some species are nocturnal, which helps them avoid predators and conserve moisture during the heat of the day. Others have developed burrowing behaviors to escape extreme temperatures or dry conditions. Sensory adaptations: frogs have highly developed senses, including keen eyesight and hearing. Their large, bulging eyes allow for excellent vision, while their eardrums, tympanic membranes, are often visible on the sides of their heads. These adaptations help them locate prey and communicate with other frogs through their vocalizations. Conservation importance: the amphibious lifestyle of frogs makes them sensitive to environmental changes. Their permeable skin makes them susceptible to pollutants and diseases. Many frog species are experiencing declines in populations due to habitat loss, pollution, and climate change, highlighting the importance of conservation efforts to protect their unique amphibious habitats. In conclusion, frogs' amphibious lifestyle is a remarkable example of adaptation to diverse environments. Their ability to thrive in both aquatic and terrestrial realms makes them ecologically important and scientifically fascinating creatures. Understanding and protecting their habitats is crucial for preserving the diversity of life on Earth. Frogs are incredibly adaptable creatures, and they can be found in a wide variety of habitats across the world. Their ability to thrive in different environments is a testament to their remarkable evolutionary history and their unique physiological features. Here, we'll explore the diverse habitats that frogs inhabit, freshwater ecosystems, ponds and lakes. Many frog species are closely associated with freshwater bodies like ponds and lakes. These environments provide ample breeding grounds for frogs, as they lay their eggs in the water, which hatch into tadpoles. Rivers and streams, some frogs are specifically adapted to fast-flowing water. They can be found along riverbanks and stream edges, where they use rocks and vegetation as shelter. Terrestrial habitats, forests, whether tropical rainforests, temperate forests, or boreal forests, are home to numerous frog species. They seek refuge in leaf litter, fallen logs, and undergrowth during the day, coming out at night to feed. Grasslands, in grassy ecosystems like savannas and prairies, you can find ground-dwelling frogs that blend in with the vegetation. These frogs often have cryptic colors and patterns to avoid predators. Deserts, contrary to the common perception that deserts lack amphibians, some frog species have adapted to arid conditions. They burrow underground during the day and emerge at night to hunt or breed when conditions are cooler and more humid. Aquatic habitats, marshes and swamps, frogs are well suited to wetlands, where they can be found in both shallow and deep water. These habitats provide abundant food sources and offer protection from predators. Bogs, specialized frogs inhabit acidic bogs, which are low-nutrient wetlands with unique flora. They have evolved to withstand the challenging conditions found in these environments. Human-altered habitats, urban areas, some frog species have adapted to urban environments, utilizing artificial ponds, garden water features, and even storm water drains for breeding and shelter. Agricultural lands, agricultural fields and irrigation ditches can also be home to frogs, although pesticide use and habitat destruction pose significant threats to their populations. Specialized habitats, tree frogs, many species, like the iconic red-eyed tree frog, live predominantly in trees. They have specialized toe pads for climbing and inhabit the canopy of rainforests. Cave-dwelling frogs, some frogs have evolved to live in caves, adapting to the dark, underground environment. They may have unique behaviors and morphological adaptations, such as reduced pigmentation. Altitudinal habitats, high mountains, some frog species are adapted to high-altitude habitats, living in alpine meadows and along mountain streams. They have developed physiological adaptations to cope with lower oxygen levels and colder temperatures. Island habitats, island endemics, islands often host unique frog species found nowhere else in the world. They adapt to the specific conditions of their island habitats, which can range from tropical rainforests to arid deserts. In each of these varied habitats, frogs have developed a range of adaptations to thrive, including camouflage, toxicity, vocalizations, and reproductive strategies. However, many frog populations are under threat due to habitat destruction, pollution, climate change, and disease. Conservation efforts are crucial to preserving the incredible diversity of frog habitats and the species that depend on them. Frogs are renowned for their vibrant colors, which serve a variety of purposes in their lives. These hues not only make frogs fascinating creatures to observe but also play crucial roles in their survival and communication within their environments. Camouflage, many frog species have evolved vibrant colors as a means of camouflage. These colors often mimic the surroundings in their natural habitats, helping them blend seamlessly into their environment. This camouflage is essential for avoiding predators and ambushing prey. For example, the poison dart frog's strikingly vibrant colors serve as a warning to potential predators that they are toxic. Warning signals, while some frogs use their vibrant colors for camouflage, others use them to advertise their toxicity or unpalatability to potential predators. These frogs are often referred to as aposematic, which means they use their bright colors as a warning signal. The brilliant reds, blues, and yellows of poison dart frogs, for instance, are a clear warning to predators that they should avoid consuming these toxic creatures. Sexual selection, Vibrant colors are frequently associated with sexual dimorphism in frogs, where males and females have different coloration. In many species, males tend to exhibit more vibrant and eye-catching colors to attract females during the breeding season. These colors signal the male's health and genetic fitness, making them more attractive mates. The peacock tree frog is an excellent example, with males displaying stunning, iridescent colors to woo females. Intraspecies communication. Vibrant colors also play a vital role in intraspecies communication among frogs. Different color patterns and displays are used by frogs to communicate their intentions, establish territory, or convey their readiness to mate. During the breeding season, males of many species engage in elaborate displays that include color changes and vocalizations to signal their presence and readiness to reproduce. Environmental influences. While genetics play a significant role in determining a frog's coloration, environmental factors can also influence their colors. For example, the same species of frog may exhibit different colors depending on their geographical location. These variations are often attributed to factors such as temperature, humidity, and diet. Mimicry. Some frog species have evolved to mimic the appearance of other organisms, such as leaves, flowers, or even other animals, to avoid predation. This form of mimicry, known as crypsis, allows them to go unnoticed by both predators and prey. The mossy frog, for example, resembles a mossy tree branch, making it nearly invisible to predators and potential prey. Ultraviolet patterns. While we perceive many frog colors in the visible spectrum, some frogs also exhibit ultraviolet, UV, patterns that are invisible to the human eye but can be detected by other frogs. These UV patterns are thought to be important in frog communication and mate selection. In conclusion, the vibrant colors of frogs are a fascinating aspect of their biology and behavior. These colors serve multiple functions, including camouflage, warning signals, attracting mates, and communicating with other frogs. The diversity and adaptability of frog coloration continue to be a subject of scientific study, shedding light on the complex interactions between these amphibians and their environments. Frogs are fascinating creatures known for their diverse and colorful appearances, as well as their unique adaptations for survival. One of the most intriguing aspects of some frog species is their toxicity. While not all frogs are toxic, there are several species that have developed potent chemical defenses to deter predators and ensure their survival in the wild. Types of toxic frogs. Poison dart frogs. These are perhaps the most famous toxic frogs. They are found primarily in Central and South America and are known for their vibrant colors, which serve as a warning to potential predators. The toxic compounds found in their skin secretions, such as alkaloids, can be lethal to predators. The evolution of toxicity. Frogs have evolved toxicity as a defense mechanism. It's believed that their toxicity is often a result of their diet. Many toxic frogs consume a diet of insects, particularly ants and mites, which are rich in toxic compounds. These toxins are then sequestered in the frog's skin, making them toxic to potential predators. Warning colors and mimicry. Toxic frogs often have striking and vibrant colors that serve as a warning to predators. This phenomenon is known as aposematism. It essentially communicates to potential threats that they are toxic and should not be consumed. Interestingly, some non-toxic frog species have evolved to mimic the appearance of toxic frogs to avoid predation, a concept known as Batchian mimicry. Variability in toxicity. Toxicity can vary greatly among different frog species. Some are highly toxic, while others may only have mild toxicity. The level of toxicity can also vary within a species, depending on their diet and environmental factors. Use of toxins by humans. Indigenous people in Central and South America have used the toxic secretions of poison dart frogs to coat the tips of blow darts for hunting, hence the name dart frogs. The toxins are carefully harvested and applied to the dart tips, which can immobilize or kill prey animals. However, the use of these toxins requires expert knowledge to avoid poisoning oneself. Conservation concerns. Despite their toxicity, Many toxic frog species are facing threats due to habitat loss, pollution, and climate change. Conservation efforts are crucial to protect these unique creatures and the delicate ecosystems they inhabit. Medical research: the toxins produced by some frogs have drawn the interest of medical researchers. Compounds found in the skin secretions of certain frog species have shown potential in the development of drugs, particularly in the field of pain management and muscle relaxants. In conclusion, the toxicity of frogs, particularly poison dart frogs, is a captivating aspect of their biology. It represents an intriguing example of how nature equips organisms with specialized adaptations to thrive in their environments and provides valuable insights for both ecological studies and medical research. However, it's essential to prioritize the conservation of these remarkable creatures to ensure their continued existence in the face of various threats. Frogs are remarkable creatures that serve as important bioindicators in various ecosystems around the world. Bioindicators are species or organisms that provide valuable insights into the health and stability of their environment. In the case of frogs, their sensitivity to changes in environmental conditions makes them particularly useful for monitoring and assessing the overall health of ecosystems. Here, we'll delve into the concept of frog bioindicators, their characteristics, and their significance in ecological studies and conservation efforts. 1. Sensitivity to environmental changes. Frogs are highly sensitive to changes in their surroundings, especially alterations in water quality, temperature, and habitat conditions. Their permeable skin allows them to absorb water and oxygen through it, making them vulnerable to pollutants, pesticides, and contaminants in the environment. As a result, any negative changes in their habitat can quickly affect their populations. 2. Amphibious lifestyle. Frogs typically inhabit both aquatic and terrestrial environments during their life cycle, making them excellent indicators of changes in both aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. They rely on clean and suitable water bodies for breeding and lay their eggs in water. Thus, the presence or absence of frogs in specific habitats can indicate the condition of those habitats. 3. Biodiversity indicators. Frogs are highly diverse, with thousands of species found across the globe. The presence and diversity of frog species within an ecosystem can provide valuable information about the overall biodiversity of the area. Healthy ecosystems tend to support a wide range of frog species, while degraded ecosystems may see declines in frog diversity. 4. Life cycle stages. The different life stages of frogs, including tadpoles and adults, are sensitive to various environmental conditions. Changes in water quality can impact tadpole development and survival, while alterations in the terrestrial environment can affect adult frogs' feeding, mating, and overall health. 5. Seasonal breeding patterns. Many frog species have specific breeding seasons that coincide with particular environmental conditions, such as temperature and rainfall. Monitoring the timing and success of frog breeding can provide insights into seasonal variations and climate-related changes in an ecosystem. 6. Indicator of pollution. Frogs are known to accumulate pollutants and contaminants in their bodies, which can have adverse effects on their health. The presence of deformed or diseased frogs can signal environmental pollution issues, including chemical contaminants, heavy metals, and pesticides. 7. Conservation and ecosystem health. The decline or disappearance of frog populations can be indicative of broader ecosystem problems. As such, the study of frog bioindicators plays a crucial role in assessing the health of ecosystems and identifying areas that require conservation and restoration efforts. Conservationists often use frog populations as early warning signals of environmental degradation. 8. Monitoring climate change. Frogs are sensitive to changes in temperature and rainfall patterns, and their behavior and distribution can provide insights into the impacts of climate change on ecosystems. Shifts in frog populations or ranges may signal changes in climate conditions. 9. Cultural significance. In addition to their ecological importance, frogs hold cultural significance in many societies around the world. Their disappearance can impact local traditions, folklore, and even dietary practices, highlighting the broader consequences of ecological disruptions. In conclusion, Frogs are invaluable bioindicators in ecological research and conservation efforts. Their sensitivity to environmental changes, complex life cycles, and roles in ecosystems make them vital indicators of ecosystem health and integrity. Studying frogs can provide a comprehensive understanding of the state of an ecosystem and help guide actions to preserve and restore these vital environments. Frog call diversity is a fascinating and integral aspect of the world of amphibians. Frogs are known for their distinctive vocalizations, which they use for a variety of purposes, including communication, mating, and territory defense. The diversity of frog calls is a testament to the incredible array of species that inhabit our planet and the unique adaptations they have developed for survival. Purpose of frog calls: frogs produce calls primarily for communication. These calls serve several important functions. Mating calls: male frogs use mating calls to attract females. These calls are often melodic and can vary greatly in intensity, pitch, and duration. The specific call characteristics can be species-specific, helping frogs find suitable mates. Territorial calls: some frogs use calls to establish and defend their territories. These calls are meant to signal to other males that a particular area is already claimed. Alarm calls: frogs may emit alarm calls when they perceive a threat. These calls can alert nearby frogs to the presence of danger, helping them evade predators. Variability in frog calls: frog calls exhibit remarkable diversity across species and can vary in terms of sound type. Frog calls can be classified into various sound types, such as chirps, trills, whistles, and peeps. Each species often has its unique repertoire of sound types. Frequency and pitch: frogs can produce calls ranging from low-frequency grunts to high-pitched whistles. These variations can be species-specific and are influenced by the frog's anatomy and habitat. Timing and rhythm: some frogs call continuously, while others have specific calling patterns, such as calling only at night or during certain seasons. Duration: the length of frog calls can vary significantly, from brief chirps to prolonged trills. Geographical variation: frog call diversity is not limited to differences between species but can also be observed within species across different geographical regions. This variation can be attributed to factors like local environmental conditions and genetic divergence. Populations of the same frog species may have distinct call patterns that help them adapt to their specific habitat. Communication and evolution: frog call diversity plays a vital role in the evolution of these amphibians. Over time, frogs that produce calls that are attractive to mates or effectively communicate territory and alarm signals are more likely to reproduce successfully. This can lead to the development of distinct call characteristics within species and contribute to speciation. Human impact and conservation: human activities, such as habitat destruction and pollution, can disrupt frog populations and their ability to communicate effectively through their calls. This can have detrimental effects on their survival, as mating and territorial disputes become more challenging. Monitoring frog call diversity can be an important tool in conservation efforts, helping researchers track the health of frog populations and the ecosystems they inhabit. Research and citizen science: frog call diversity is a subject of significant scientific research. Bioacoustics is a field that focuses on studying animal sounds, including frog calls, to understand behavior, taxonomy, and ecology. Citizen science initiatives often involve recording and cataloging frog calls to aid in the study and conservation of these species. In conclusion, frog call diversity is a rich and complex field of study that provides valuable insights into the natural world. The remarkable variety of frog calls reflects the adaptability of these amphibians to their environments and the crucial role that communication plays in their survival and reproduction. Understanding frog call diversity is not only essential for scientific research but also for the conservation of these fascinating creatures and the ecosystems they inhabit. Frogs, like many other creatures in the animal kingdom, have varying lifespans depending on their species and environmental conditions. The longevity of frogs can range from just a few years to several decades, with some species exhibiting impressive lifespans that might surprise you. Short-lived species, southern leopard frog, these frogs typically live for around 3 to 5 years in the wild. Wood frog, wood frogs are known for their remarkable freeze tolerance, but they only live for about 2 to 3 years. Moderate lifespan species, green frog, green frogs have a moderate lifespan of around 6 to 8 years. American bullfrog, bullfrogs, one of the largest frog species, can live for about 7 to 9 years in the wild. Long-lived species, common toad, toads are generally longer-lived than many other frog species, with some individuals living up to 10 to 12 years. American green tree frog, these vibrant green tree frogs can live for around 7 to 15 years. African clawed frog, these aquatic frogs can live for more than 20 years in captivity. Exceptional lifespan, cane toad, in some cases, cane toads have been known to live up to 35 years in captivity, making them one of the longest-lived frog species. Factors affecting frog longevity, species, the species of frog plays a significant role in determining its lifespan. Different species have evolved with varying lifespans as a result of their specific adaptations and ecological niches. Habitat, frogs living in stable and well-preserved habitats tend to live longer than those in areas with environmental stressors, pollution, or habitat destruction. Predation, the risk of predation from birds, snakes, and other predators can significantly impact a frog's lifespan. Species that are more vulnerable to predation may have shorter lifespans. Disease, frogs are susceptible to various diseases, such as chytridiomycosis, which can dramatically reduce their lifespan in affected populations. Climate, environmental factors like temperature and humidity can also influence a frog's longevity. Species adapted to extreme environments may have evolved longer lifespans as a survival strategy. Human activities, habitat destruction, pollution, and the introduction of invasive species by humans can negatively impact frog populations, leading to shorter lifespans. Captive care, in captivity, frogs often receive better care and protection from predators and environmental hazards, which can lead to longer lifespans compared to their wild counterparts. It's important to note that frogs, like many amphibians, are facing significant threats to their survival, including habitat loss, pollution, climate change, and disease. Conservation efforts are crucial to preserving frog species and ensuring that they can continue to thrive in their natural environments. Studying frog longevity can provide insights into the health of ecosystems and the impact of environmental changes on wildlife. Frogs play a significant role in food webs and ecosystems, serving as both predators and prey. Their importance in these intricate systems extends far beyond their small size, making them a vital component of many terrestrial and aquatic environments. Here are several key aspects of frogs' importance in food webs. Predators in the food chain. Frogs are carnivorous and feed on a wide variety of insects, spiders, worms, and other small invertebrates. They are often considered biocontrol agents because they help regulate insect populations. This makes them valuable in agricultural ecosystems, where they can help control pest populations naturally. Energy transfer. Frogs occupy an intermediate position in many food chains. They consume primary consumers like insects and are themselves consumed by secondary consumers like birds, snakes, and larger amphibians. This role in energy transfer is crucial for maintaining ecosystem balance. Indicator species. Frogs are sensitive to changes in their environment, especially water quality. Their presence or absence can serve as an indicator of environmental health. Declines in frog populations can signal pollution, habitat destruction, or other ecological imbalances. Contribution to aquatic food webs. Many frog species lay their eggs in water, and their tadpoles are herbivorous, feeding on algae and aquatic plants. This contributes to the flow of energy and nutrients within aquatic ecosystems. Prey for multiple predators. Frogs are a critical food source for various predators, including birds, reptiles, mammals, and even some larger amphibians. The consumption of frogs helps maintain the populations of these predator species. Biodiversity and trophic cascades. Frogs' position in food webs can have cascading effects. Their absence or decline can disrupt the entire ecosystem, leading to imbalances in populations of both prey and predators. This can impact plant communities and overall biodiversity. Nutrient cycling. Frogs play a role in nutrient cycling by consuming insects and other invertebrates and then excreting waste that enriches the soil with essential nutrients. This can influence the growth of plants in their habitats. Disease control. Some frog species are known to consume disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes. By reducing the populations of these disease vectors, frogs indirectly contribute to public health. Cultural and scientific significance. Frogs have cultural significance in many societies, and their study provides insights into ecological processes, adaptation, and evolution. This research can have broader applications in understanding and conserving ecosystems. Conservation importance. The decline of frog populations, often due to habitat loss, pollution, and diseases like chytridiomycosis, is a global concern. Protecting frog species and their habitats is essential not only for their intrinsic value but also for maintaining the health and stability of ecosystems. In summary, frogs are indispensable members of food webs, influencing the dynamics of ecosystems in numerous ways. Their role as both predators and prey contributes to the overall health and balance of ecosystems, making them a vital part of Earth's biodiversity. Preserving frog populations and their habitats is not only a matter of ecological concern but also a necessity for sustaining the planet's overall well-being. Frogs hold a unique and diverse cultural significance across the globe. These amphibians have appeared in various forms in mythology, folklore, religion, and art, playing roles that range from symbols of transformation and fertility to cautionary tales about environmental health. Here, we delve into the rich cultural significance of frogs in different societies and contexts. Symbol of transformation. In many cultures, frogs symbolize transformation and change. This symbolism arises from their remarkable life cycle, which includes metamorphosis from tadpole to adult frog. This transformation has been associated with personal growth and spiritual development in various mythologies. Fertility and reproduction. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the frog-headed goddess Heket was a symbol of fertility and childbirth. Egyptians believed that Heket helped women during labor and protected children. In some Native American cultures, frogs are associated with rain and fertility. Their croaking during the rainy season is seen as a call to bring rain, which is essential for crop growth. Religious significance. In Hinduism, the frog is associated with Lord Vishnu and is a symbol of water, renewal, and cleansing. Frogs are also seen as protectors of water bodies. In some African religions, frogs are considered sacred animals and are associated with the spirit world. They are seen as mediators between the living and the spiritual realms. Mythological tales. In Greek mythology, the frog is linked to the story of the Frog King, who was transformed into a handsome prince after a kiss from a princess. This tale has parallels in other cultures and is often used to convey themes of transformation and love. Art and literature. Frogs have appeared in various forms in literature and art, including fables like Aesop's The Frog and the Ox and children's stories like The Frog Prince. In Japanese art, the frog is associated with the money frog or three-legged toad, which is believed to bring wealth and prosperity. Environmental indicators. Frogs and amphibians, in general, serve as important environmental indicators. Their sensitivity to changes in their habitat, particularly water quality, makes them vital for assessing the health of ecosystems. Declines in frog populations worldwide have raised awareness about environmental issues such as habitat destruction and pollution. Cultural warnings. Some cultures see frogs as omens or warnings. In Chinese folklore, the sudden appearance of frogs in one's house is believed to foretell misfortune, especially if the frogs are found dead. This belief underscores the connection between frogs and environmental health. Mystical and shamanic traditions. In shamanic traditions, frogs are sometimes seen as spirit animals or guides, leading shamans through the realms of the unconscious or the spirit world. Modern symbolism. In contemporary culture, frogs continue to play a role in symbolism. The frog emoji, for example, is used humorously to represent a frog's face and is widely used in digital communication. In conclusion, the cultural significance of frogs is deeply rooted in their biological characteristics, ecological roles, and symbolism across different societies and time periods. They serve as powerful symbols of transformation, fertility, and environmental health, and their presence in myths, religion, art, and literature reflects the diverse ways in which humans have interacted with and revered these fascinating creatures. Scientific research on frogs, known as herpetology, is a diverse and fascinating field that has contributed significantly to our understanding of amphibians, ecology, evolution, and the broader ecosystem. Frogs are a particularly intriguing subject of study due to their unique characteristics, diverse species, and their importance in various ecosystems. Here, we'll delve into some key aspects of scientific research on frogs. Biodiversity and classification. Scientists have identified over 7,000 species of frogs worldwide, making them one of the most diverse groups of vertebrates. Taxonomists continue to discover and describe new species, highlighting the importance of continued research to understand and conserve this biodiversity. Anatomy and physiology. Researchers study frog anatomy and physiology to gain insights into amphibian biology and its relevance to other vertebrates, including humans. Frogs have been pivotal in studies of sensory perception, nervous system function, and muscle mechanics. Ecology and behavior. Frogs are excellent bioindicators, reflecting the health of ecosystems due to their sensitivity to environmental changes. Researchers investigate their behavior, such as mating calls, feeding patterns, and migration, to understand their role in food webs and ecosystem functioning. Conservation biology. Amphibians, including frogs, are experiencing declines and extinctions globally due to habitat loss, pollution, climate change, and disease. Scientific research plays a crucial role in assessing the conservation status of frog species, identifying threats, and developing conservation strategies. Amphibian diseases. Frogs are particularly susceptible to chytrid fungi, a deadly pathogen responsible for amphibian declines worldwide. Scientists are working to understand the mechanisms of infection and develop strategies to combat this disease. Reproductive biology. Frog reproduction is diverse and includes various modes, such as aquatic, terrestrial, and arboreal breeding. Researchers study their reproductive strategies, including parental care, mating behavior, and tadpole development, to gain insights into evolutionary adaptations. Amphibian evolution. Studying frog fossils and their evolutionary history provides valuable insights into the evolution of amphibians and their relationships with other vertebrates. Phylogenetics and genetics. DNA analysis helps scientists understand the evolutionary relationships among frog species and their genetic diversity. This information informs taxonomy and conservation efforts. Amphibian declines and extinctions. Research on the causes of amphibian declines and extinctions contributes to our understanding of broader ecological issues, including climate change, habitat destruction, and disease dynamics. Chemical ecology. Frogs are known for their skin secretions, which can contain toxins, antimicrobial compounds, and even hallucinogenic substances. Research on these chemical compounds has implications for medicine, neuroscience, and pharmacology. Cultural and societal relevance. Frogs have cultural and societal importance worldwide, from traditional medicine and folklore to environmental education. Research in this area can help bridge scientific and indigenous knowledge. Technology and monitoring. Advances in technology, such as acoustic monitoring and remote sensing, enable scientists to study frogs more effectively and monitor their populations in the wild. Scientific research on frogs not only enhances our understanding of amphibians but also contributes to broader scientific knowledge and conservation efforts. It highlights the interconnectedness of ecosystems and the importance of preserving biodiversity. Ongoing research in this field is essential for addressing the challenges that amphibians face in an ever-changing world and for promoting the conservation of these remarkable creatures. Frog conservation efforts are critical for preserving the world's amphibian biodiversity. Frogs are essential components of ecosystems, playing roles as both predators and prey. Additionally, they serve as indicators of environmental health, and their decline can signify larger issues within an ecosystem. Unfortunately, frogs face numerous threats, including habitat loss, pollution, disease, climate change, and overexploitation for the pet trade and traditional medicine. Conservation initiatives are vital to protect these fascinating creatures. Here is a comprehensive overview of frog conservation efforts. Habitat protection and restoration. Many frog species are highly dependent on specific habitats, such as wetlands, forests, and streams. Conservationists work to protect these areas from destruction due to urbanization, agriculture, and logging. Restoration projects aim to rehabilitate damaged habitats by planting native vegetation and creating breeding pools for frogs. Ex situ conservation. In some cases, it's necessary to establish captive breeding programs for frogs threatened with extinction. These programs involve breeding frogs in controlled environments, such as zoos or research centers, to ensure their survival. These captive populations can serve as a source for reintroduction into the wild when suitable habitats become available. Research and monitoring. Conservationists conduct research to better understand frog populations, their behavior, and the threats they face. This knowledge is crucial for designing effective conservation strategies. Long-term monitoring programs track changes in frog populations, enabling researchers to respond quickly to declines or disease outbreaks. Disease management. Amphibians worldwide are threatened by chytrid fungus, which has caused mass die-offs. Conservationists are researching ways to manage and mitigate the impact of this disease through treatments and habitat management. Community involvement and education. Engaging local communities in frog conservation efforts is essential. Teaching people about the importance of frogs in ecosystems and their cultural significance can lead to increased support for conservation initiatives. Conservation education programs often target schools, emphasizing the importance of preserving these creatures. Policy and legislation. Governments and organizations advocate for policies and regulations that protect frog habitats and limit harmful activities like deforestation and pollution. International agreements, such as the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES, help regulate the trade of endangered frog species. Climate change mitigation. Climate change poses a significant threat to frog populations, as it can alter their habitats and disrupt breeding patterns. Efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to climate change are indirectly beneficial to frog conservation. Amphibian rescue programs. Some organizations focus specifically on rescuing highly endangered amphibians. These programs often involve expeditions to find and relocate threatened species to safer environments. Collaboration and partnerships. Collaboration between governments, nonprofit organizations, scientists, and local communities is crucial for effective frog conservation. Joint efforts pool resources, knowledge, and expertise to tackle complex issues. Public awareness and fundraising. Public support is essential for financing conservation efforts. Awareness campaigns, fundraising events, and donations help secure the necessary resources for research and on-the-ground conservation work. Frog conservation efforts are a testament to humanity's commitment to preserving biodiversity and maintaining the delicate balance of ecosystems. Continued vigilance, research, and global cooperation are necessary to protect these fascinating and ecologically important creatures for future generations. A frog's slimy skin is a fascinating and essential feature that plays a crucial role in its survival and daily life. This unique adaptation is one of the defining characteristics of frogs and sets them apart from many other animals. Let's explore the various aspects of a frog's slimy skin. Moisture retention. Frogs are ectothermic animals, meaning they rely on their environment to regulate their body temperature. The slimy skin helps them retain moisture, which is vital for their skin to function effectively. This moisture helps keep their skin supple and prevents dehydration, which could be fatal for them. Respiration. Frogs have a special way of breathing through their skin, a process called cutaneous respiration. The thin, permeable skin allows oxygen to pass through and carbon dioxide to escape. The moisture on the skin's surface is essential for this gas exchange to occur efficiently. Some species, like the tree frog, can even breathe entirely through their skin when underwater. Protection: the slimy secretion on a frog's skin acts as a protective barrier against harmful microorganisms and parasites. This mucus layer contains antimicrobial peptides that help defend against bacterial and fungal infections. It's a crucial line of defense for frogs living in various environments, including wetlands, ponds, and forests. Thermoregulation: the slimy skin aids in thermoregulation by allowing frogs to control their body temperature more effectively. When a frog's skin is moist, it can dissipate excess heat through evaporative cooling, which is especially important in hot weather or after physical exertion. Camouflage: some frog species use the texture and coloration of their slimy skin to blend into their surroundings. This adaptation helps them evade predators and catch prey more effectively. Tree frogs, for example, often have vibrant green skin that matches the leaves in their habitats. Communication: frogs communicate through a variety of vocalizations, but they also use chemical signals. The chemicals in their skin secretions can convey information about their species, health, and even reproductive readiness to potential mates. Toxic defense: many frog species possess toxic skin secretions as a defense mechanism against predators. The toxins in their skin can be extremely potent and act as a deterrent to would-be attackers. Some frogs, such as the poison dart frogs of Central and South America, are famous for their deadly skin secretions. Water repellency: the slimy skin of some frogs is hydrophobic, meaning it repels water. This adaptation can be especially helpful for frogs that live near water bodies, as it prevents them from getting overly waterlogged and sinking. Feeding: frogs use their sticky tongues to catch prey, and the slimy skin aids in trapping insects and other small creatures. The mucus on their skin helps make their tongues even stickier, increasing their hunting success. Regeneration: frogs have the remarkable ability to regenerate their skin. If they get injured or their skin is damaged, they can replace it relatively quickly. This ability helps them recover from minor injuries or skin infections. In conclusion, a frog's slimy skin is a multifunctional and vital adaptation that enables these amphibians to survive and thrive in diverse environments. It plays roles in respiration, protection, thermoregulation, communication, defense, camouflage, and feeding, showcasing the remarkable adaptability and resilience of these unique creatures in the animal kingdom. Frogs are fascinating creatures, and one aspect of their behavior that has captured the interest of scientists and nature enthusiasts alike is their nocturnal behavior. Nocturnal behavior refers to the activities and behaviors of animals that are primarily active during the night. Frogs are known for their distinctive nocturnal habits, and these behaviors have evolved as adaptations to their environment and lifestyle. Hunting and feeding: one of the primary reasons frogs are nocturnal is their feeding habits. Many frog species are carnivorous and rely on a diet of insects and other small invertebrates. These prey animals are often more active at night, making it the ideal time for frogs to hunt. Frogs have specialized adaptations, such as sticky tongues and excellent night vision, which aid them in capturing their prey in low light conditions. Avoiding predators: being active at night helps frogs avoid some of their predators. Many birds, snakes, and mammals that prey on frogs are diurnal, active during the day. By being nocturnal, frogs can reduce their chances of encountering these predators. Temperature regulation: nocturnal behavior can also help frogs regulate their body temperature. Frogs are ectothermic, which means they rely on external sources of heat to maintain their body temperature. Nighttime often provides cooler temperatures, allowing frogs to conserve energy and reduce the risk of overheating during hot daytime hours. Breeding and calling: some frog species are known for their nocturnal breeding behavior. They gather near water bodies like ponds and streams after sunset to engage in courtship and mating activities. Male frogs are especially active at night when they produce their characteristic calls to attract females. These calls can be loud and are often species-specific, allowing frogs to find suitable mates in the darkness. Camouflage. Nocturnal behavior can also be advantageous for frogs in terms of camouflage. Many nocturnal frog species have evolved coloration and patterns that blend in well with their nighttime surroundings, making them less visible to potential predators. Environmental factors. Frogs may also be active at night to avoid certain environmental factors like harsh sunlight, which can lead to desiccation, drying out. By staying active at night, frogs can stay hydrated and reduce the risk of drying out during the day. Habitat utilization. Some frog species inhabit areas that are more favorable for nighttime activities. For example, tree frogs are often found in the canopies of forests, where they can easily move and hunt in the dark. Social behavior. Nocturnal behavior can also affect social interactions among frogs. Some species form temporary groups or aggregations at night, possibly for safety or increased mating opportunities. In conclusion, frogs' nocturnal behavior is a result of various evolutionary adaptations that help them thrive in their specific environments. Their ability to hunt, avoid predators, regulate body temperature, and engage in reproductive activities under the cover of darkness is a testament to the incredible diversity and resilience of these amphibious creatures. Studying their nocturnal behavior not only enriches our understanding of frogs but also provides insights into the broader field of nocturnal ecology and animal behavior. Synchronized breeding, also known as mass or explosive breeding, is a fascinating reproductive strategy exhibited by various amphibians, particularly frogs. This unique phenomenon involves large numbers of frogs gathering at breeding sites and simultaneously releasing their eggs and sperm into the water, resulting in a massive and synchronized burst of reproduction. Let's delve into the details of synchronized breeding in frogs. 1. Environmental cues. Synchronized breeding in frogs is triggered by specific environmental cues, primarily related to temperature, humidity, rainfall, and photoperiod, daylight hours. These cues serve as signals to the frogs that the conditions are ideal for breeding. When the environmental factors align, it stimulates a synchronized response among the frog population. 2. Breeding sites. Frogs typically gather at specific breeding sites, which can be ponds, lakes, marshes, or temporary water bodies created by heavy rains. These sites provide the necessary aquatic environment for the development of frog eggs and tadpoles. 3. Reproductive behavior. Once at the breeding site, male frogs often initiate the process by calling to attract females. Frog calls vary greatly among species and serve as a means of communication to find suitable mates. These calls can be heard over long distances and play a crucial role in synchronizing the breeding event. 4. Amplexus. After locating a suitable mate, male frogs engage in amplexus, a behavior where they grasp the female tightly. This position ensures that the male's sperm are deposited directly onto the female's eggs as she releases them. 5. Egg deposition. The synchronized release of eggs by multiple females and sperm by multiple males results in a high likelihood of fertilization. This simultaneous egg-laying reduces the chances of predation and increases the chances of offspring survival. 6. Advantages of synchronized breeding. Predator saturation. The sheer volume of eggs produced during synchronized breeding can overwhelm predators, reducing the likelihood of successful predation on the eggs and tadpoles. Genetic diversity. By breeding with multiple partners in a short time frame, frogs can enhance genetic diversity within the population, potentially leading to more adaptable and resilient offspring. Optimal conditions. Synchronized breeding often occurs during periods of favorable environmental conditions, ensuring that the offspring have a higher chance of survival. 7. Challenges and risks. Environmental variability. Synchronized breeding relies heavily on precise environmental cues. Changes in climate or habitat degradation can disrupt these cues, potentially leading to reproductive failure. Disease spread. Crowding of frogs at breeding sites can facilitate the spread of diseases, as pathogens can easily pass from one individual to another. Competition. While synchronized breeding can enhance reproductive success, it also results in intense competition among males for access to females. 8 examples of frogs exhibiting synchronized breeding. Many species of frogs exhibit synchronized breeding. For instance, the American toad, Anaxyrus americanus, wood frog, Lithobates sylvaticus, and the famous red-eyed tree frog, Agallichnus calidrius, are known for their synchronized breeding behaviors. In conclusion, synchronized breeding in frogs is a remarkable reproductive strategy that maximizes the chances of reproductive success in an unpredictable and often harsh environment. This strategy has evolved as an adaptation to ensure the survival of frog populations and contributes to the ecological balance of their habitats. However, it also makes them vulnerable to environmental changes and underscores the importance of conservation efforts to protect these unique and vital creatures. Frogs exhibit a fascinating array of reproductive strategies, and some species are renowned for their unique parental care behaviors. While many animals, including reptiles and amphibians, lay their eggs and provide no further care to their offspring, some frog species take a more active role in ensuring the survival of their young. Let's explore the diverse ways in which frogs demonstrate unique parental care, egg transport and nest building. Marsupial frogs. Some frogs, like the marsupial frogs of Central and South America, have specialized dorsal pouches in which they carry their fertilized eggs. These pouches offer protection and ensure that the eggs remain moist until they hatch. The female carries the developing embryos on her back until they metamorphose into tadpoles. Male parental care, carrying tadpoles on the back. In species like the Suriname toad, Pipa pipa, and Darwin's frog, Rhinoderma darwinii, the males carry fertilized eggs or tadpoles on their backs. In the Suriname toad, the eggs are embedded in the skin of the male's back, creating a honeycomb-like structure. The male carries the eggs until they hatch into miniature toads. Guarding tadpoles. Some frog species, such as the glass frogs, Centralinidae, have males that guard their eggs and tadpoles. These males are highly territorial and protect their offspring from potential predators, such as insects. Nest building. Foam nest builders. Some tropical tree frogs, such as the gray tree frog, Hyla versicolor, create foam nests above water bodies. The male and female frogs work together to whip up a foam nest by churning air into a mix of sperm and eggs. The foam protects the eggs from drying out and provides insulation against temperature fluctuations. Tadpole transport. Transporting tadpoles to water. Many frogs lay their eggs in terrestrial environments, away from water. Once the tadpoles hatch, the adult frogs transport them to water bodies, such as ponds or streams, to ensure their survival. This behavior can involve carrying tadpoles in the mouth, attaching them to the body, or even swallowing and regurgitating them. Dietary specialization. Allophagy. Some frog species exhibit allophagy, a unique parental care behavior where adults feed their tadpoles with unfertilized eggs or other nourishing substances. This unusual dietary strategy provides the tadpoles with essential nutrients for development. Trophic eggs. Trophic eggs. Some frog species lay 2 types of eggs, one for the development of tadpoles and another set known as trophic eggs. Trophic eggs serve as a nutritional resource for the tadpoles and are often infertile. This ensures that the tadpoles receive sufficient nourishment during their early stages of development. Parental vocalizations. Auditory parental care. In certain species like the strawberry poison dart frog, Oophaga pumilio, parents communicate with their tadpoles through vocalizations. These calls signal the presence of food, warn against predators, and help establish a connection between parents and offspring. Cannibalistic care. Cannibalistic care, while not common, some frog species exhibit cannibalistic parental care. In these cases, tadpoles may feed on unhatched eggs or even smaller siblings, which provides them with vital nutrients. Frogs' unique parental care behaviors showcase their adaptability to diverse environments and their commitment to ensuring the survival of their offspring. These remarkable strategies have evolved over time and contribute to the rich tapestry of reproductive strategies within the amphibian world. Studying these behaviors provides valuable insights into amphibian ecology and evolution, helping us better understand the complex interactions between parental care and species survival. Hibernation is a fascinating survival strategy employed by various animals, including frogs, to endure harsh environmental conditions. Frogs, being ectothermic or cold-blooded creatures, rely on external temperatures to regulate their metabolic processes. When winter approaches and temperatures drop, frogs enter a state of dormancy known as hibernation to conserve energy and protect themselves from the cold. Let's delve into the intriguing world of frog hibernation. 1. The need for hibernation. Frogs hibernate primarily to survive adverse winter conditions. In regions with cold winters, temperatures can plummet to levels that would be lethal for frogs if they remained active. Hibernation conserves energy since frogs cannot maintain their usual metabolic rates in frigid temperatures. By going dormant, they reduce their energy expenditure to a bare minimum. 2. Choosing a hibernation site. Frogs select hibernation sites carefully. These sites are often underground, such as burrows, crevices, or leaf litter. These locations provide insulation against the cold and protection from predators. Aquatic frogs, like wood frogs, bury themselves in mud at the bottom of ponds or streams. They can extract oxygen from the water through their skin, which allows them to survive without breathing air for extended periods. 3. Physiological changes. During hibernation, a frog's metabolic activity drops significantly. Their heart rate and breathing slow down to conserve energy. In some cases, their heartbeats may cease entirely. Frogs also undergo a partial dehydration process, which helps prevent ice crystal formation in their cells. This is crucial because ice formation can damage cells and tissues. 4. Adaptations for survival. Some frog species have developed specific adaptations to enhance their chances of surviving hibernation. For instance, the wood frog, Rana sylvatica, produces a natural antifreeze substance in its tissues that prevents ice crystals from forming inside its cells. Frogs also reduce their metabolic waste production during hibernation, minimizing the buildup of toxic byproducts that could harm their organs. 5. Hibernation duration. The duration of frog hibernation varies depending on the species and environmental conditions. Some frogs may hibernate for just a few weeks, while others can remain dormant for several months. The length of hibernation depends on factors like temperature, available food, and the frog's age and health. 6. Waking from hibernation. Frogs typically wake from hibernation when temperatures start to rise in the spring. This process is gradual, with frogs slowly increasing their metabolic activity and eventually becoming active again. They may emerge from their hibernation sites and start searching for food and mates as soon as conditions allow. 7. Hibernation and conservation. Hibernation is crucial for the survival of many frog species, especially those living in temperate climates. Climate change and habitat destruction can disrupt their hibernation patterns, potentially leading to population declines. Conservation efforts often consider hibernation habits when designing protection strategies for vulnerable frog species. Understanding frog hibernation is vital not only for appreciating the remarkable adaptations of these amphibians but also for conserving their populations in a changing world. As ecosystems continue to face challenges from climate change and habitat loss, safeguarding the hibernation habitats of frogs becomes increasingly important in ensuring their survival. Amphibians are a fascinating group of animals that have played a significant role in the evolutionary history of life on Earth. Among amphibians, frogs are one of the most diverse and widespread groups, with over 7,000 species known to science. Understanding the amphibian evolution, particularly the evolution of frogs, provides valuable insights into the broader context of vertebrate evolution and the transition from aquatic to terrestrial life. Early amphibians. The amphibian lineage can be traced back to the Devonian period, around 370 million years ago. The earliest amphibians were tetrapods, which means they had 4 limbs, but they were still closely tied to aquatic environments. These early amphibians were the precursors to modern amphibians, including frogs. Ancestry of frogs. The exact origin of frogs is still a topic of debate among scientists, but they are believed to have evolved from a group of amphibians known as temnospondyls. These ancient amphibians were largely aquatic and had a more primitive skeletal structure compared to modern frogs. Over time, frogs adapted to a more terrestrial lifestyle. Evolution of limbs. One of the key adaptations in the evolution of amphibians, including frogs, was the development of limbs. These limbs allowed them to move more effectively on land while still being capable of swimming in water. The transition from fins to limbs marked a crucial step in their evolutionary journey. Diversity of frogs. Frogs have evolved to occupy a wide range of ecological niches. They can be found in almost every type of habitat, from rainforests to deserts, and from high mountain regions to lowland swamps. This adaptability and diversity in habitat preference have contributed to the vast number of frog species we see today. Respiration. Another significant adaptation in the evolution of frogs was the development of cutaneous respiration. Many frogs have permeable skin that allows them to absorb oxygen directly from the environment. This feature is particularly important for species that spend a lot of time in water or moist habitats. Reproduction. Frogs have a unique reproductive strategy that involves external fertilization. They lay their eggs in water, and the male fertilizes them by releasing sperm over the eggs. Tadpoles hatch from these eggs and undergo metamorphosis into adult frogs. This reproductive strategy likely evolved as an adaptation to aquatic environments. Specializations. Over millions of years, frogs have evolved various specializations to thrive in specific habitats. Some have developed adaptations for digging and burrowing, while others have specialized toe pads for climbing. These adaptations demonstrate the evolutionary flexibility of this group. Conservation challenges. Despite their long evolutionary history, many frog species are facing severe threats today due to habitat loss, pollution, climate change, and a deadly fungal disease called chytridiomycosis. Amphibians, including frogs, are considered indicator species, which means their decline can signal broader environmental issues. Human connection. Frogs have been an integral part of human culture, mythology, and science. They have inspired stories, art, and scientific research. Their unique biology, including the ability to undergo metamorphosis, has fascinated humans for centuries and contributed to our understanding of developmental biology. Ongoing research. Scientific research on frogs continues to provide valuable insights into evolution, genetics, and ecology. They are also used as model organisms in various fields, including developmental biology and environmental science. In conclusion, the amphibian evolution, particularly the evolution of frogs, is a compelling story of adaptation and diversification. It showcases the remarkable journey of life from water to land and highlights the challenges and opportunities that come with such transitions. Studying amphibian evolution not only informs our understanding of these fascinating creatures but also contributes to our broader knowledge of vertebrate evolution and the interconnectedness of life on Earth. Frog mucus production is a fascinating aspect of their biology that serves multiple purposes in their lives. Frogs are known for their slimy, moist skin, and this mucus plays a crucial role in their survival, reproduction, and overall well-being. Let's dive deeper into the world of frog mucus production. Skin respiration. Frogs have a unique respiratory system that involves both lungs and their skin. Their skin is permeable to oxygen and allows them to breathe through it. The mucus on their skin helps facilitate this process by keeping their skin moist. The moisture in the mucus helps to dissolve oxygen from the surrounding environment, allowing it to be absorbed directly into their bloodstream. Protection from dehydration. Frogs are ectothermic, which means they rely on external sources of heat to regulate their body temperature. To prevent excessive water loss through their skin, frogs secrete mucus. This mucus forms a thin, protective layer that reduces water evaporation and helps keep the frog's body hydrated. Thermoregulation. Frog mucus also plays a role in thermoregulation. By controlling the thickness of the mucus layer on their skin, frogs can adjust their heat absorption and loss. In hot environments, they may produce thicker mucus to reduce heat absorption, while in cooler conditions, they can make it thinner to absorb more warmth from their surroundings. Defense mechanism. Frog mucus contains various chemical compounds that serve as a defense mechanism against predators. Some species of frogs produce toxic or irritating mucus that can deter or harm potential threats. The bright colors of some frogs often signal their toxic nature to predators. When threatened, these frogs can secrete mucus as a deterrent, and some species can even shoot mucus at predators to deter them. Antimicrobial properties. Frog mucus contains peptides with potent antimicrobial properties. These peptides help protect frogs from infections by inhibiting the growth of bacteria and fungi that might otherwise harm them. Some of these peptides have even been studied for their potential use in human medicine. Reproductive role. Mucus is essential for the reproduction of many frog species. During mating, males often produce special glands that secrete mucus-like substances to create foam nests. The female deposits her eggs in these foam nests, which provide protection and moisture for the developing embryos. In some species, males may also produce mucus to facilitate amplexus, the mating position where the male grasps the female. Communication. Frogs use their skin and mucus for communication as well. They can communicate through chemical signals contained in their mucus, which helps them establish territory boundaries, signal readiness for mating, or communicate distress. Habitat moisture. Frogs are highly dependent on moist environments. Mucus production on their skin helps maintain the moisture content in their immediate surroundings. This is vital for their survival as many frogs are susceptible to desiccation, drying out, and they require specific humidity levels to thrive. In conclusion, frog mucus production is a multifaceted and essential aspect of their biology. It plays roles in respiration, protection, defense, reproduction, and communication. The unique properties of frog mucus have even led to scientific investigations and potential applications in various fields, including medicine and biotechnology. Understanding the intricacies of frog mucus production contributes to our knowledge of these remarkable creatures and their adaptation to diverse environments. Frogs are truly incredible leapers, and their remarkable jumping abilities have captivated the fascination of scientists and nature enthusiasts alike. These remarkable amphibians have evolved a unique set of adaptations that enable them to perform these astonishing feats of athleticism. Let's delve into the world of frogs and their incredible leaping abilities. Muscular legs. Frogs possess strong, muscular hind legs that are specially adapted for jumping. These legs are designed for explosive power, allowing them to generate the force required for a powerful leap. The muscles in their legs contract rapidly, propelling them into the air. Leverage. The length and arrangement of a frog's leg bones provide excellent leverage. They have elongated tibiae and fibulae, which act like powerful levers when the leg muscles contract. This efficient biomechanical arrangement enables frogs to convert muscle power into remarkable jumping ability. Webbed feet. Most frogs have webbed feet, which serve multiple purposes. While swimming, the webbing between their toes aids in propulsion through the water. However, during a leap, these webbed feet are extended, creating a larger surface area and enhancing their ability to push against the ground. Jumping mechanism. When a frog is ready to jump, it first crouches down, preparing its leg muscles for the explosive action. Then, it extends its hind legs rapidly, causing the toes to push against the ground with great force. This force propels the frog upwards and forwards, creating the characteristic arc seen in their jumps. Tongue projection. Frogs employ their leaping skills not only for evading predators but also for catching prey. Some frog species, such as the tongue-darting chameleon frogs, can accurately project their sticky tongues at high speeds to catch insects, showcasing their incredible precision as leapers. Predator avoidance. the primary function of a frog's jumping ability is to escape from predators swiftly. When threatened, a frog can make rapid, unpredictable leaps that make it difficult for predators to catch them. The suddenness and unpredictability of these leaps are key survival strategies for many frog species. Variation in leaping abilities. Not all frogs are equal when it comes to leaping. There's a considerable variation in leaping abilities among different frog species. Some, like the aptly named flying frogs, can glide through the air for short distances, thanks to webbed skin flaps between their fingers and toes. Jumping distance. Frogs can achieve impressive distances in their jumps. For instance, the red-eyed tree frog, a small tree-dwelling species, can leap more than 10 times its body length in a single bound. This exceptional jumping prowess aids them in moving between branches and avoiding ground-based predators. Energy efficiency. Frogs have also evolved to be energy efficient in their jumping. Their unique physiology allows them to minimize the energy expended during each leap, ensuring they can make repeated jumps when necessary without exhausting themselves. In conclusion, frogs are undeniably incredible leapers, and their remarkable jumping abilities are a testament to the wonders of evolution. These adaptations not only help them evade predators but also enable them to capture prey and navigate their environments efficiently. The world of frogs is a testament to the astonishing diversity and ingenuity found in the natural world. Frogs are fascinating creatures known for their unique and often quirky adaptations to their environments. One of the intriguing features found in many frog species is their transparent or translucent eyelids. These specialized eyelids serve several important functions in the life of a frog, from protection to maintaining their aquatic lifestyle. Protection. Frogs' transparent eyelids act as a protective shield for their eyes. These semi-permeable membranes cover and shield their eyes from potential harm while allowing them to see through them. This is especially important because frogs have relatively large, protruding eyes that are vulnerable to damage from debris, predators, and environmental hazards. Moisture retention. Frogs are ectothermic animals, meaning their body temperature is regulated by their environment. Many frog species are also semi-aquatic, and their transparent eyelids help in retaining moisture around their eyes. These specialized eyelids prevent the eyes from drying out, particularly when they are exposed to air or during periods of extended activity outside of the water. Vision underwater. Frogs are skilled hunters and often rely on their vision to locate prey, even underwater. Transparent eyelids allow them to see clearly while submerged, without the need to blink or expose their eyes fully to the aquatic environment. This adaptation helps them identify and catch their prey, which can consist of insects, small fish, or other aquatic creatures. Camouflage. Some frog species have evolved transparent eyelids to aid in camouflage. These see-through eyelids help the frog blend into its surroundings by reducing the reflection of light off their eyes. This adaptation is crucial for avoiding detection by predators and increasing their chances of survival. Breathing. Frogs are amphibians, which means they have both lungs and the ability to respire through their skin. Transparent eyelids play a role in respiration, especially when submerged in water. They assist in maintaining a constant exchange of gases by allowing for the diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide through the eye's thin membranes. Communication. Frogs are known for their vocalizations, and eye movements are part of their communication repertoire. Transparent eyelids enable other frogs to see their eye movements during mating calls or territorial displays, which can convey important information about the frog's intentions and readiness to mate. Thermoregulation. While not their primary function, transparent eyelids can also help frogs regulate their body temperature. By partially closing their eyelids, they can control the amount of sunlight and heat entering their eyes, helping them maintain an optimal body temperature. It's important to note that the transparency of frog eyelids can vary among species and may not be present in all frogs. Additionally, the specific functions and adaptations related to these eyelids can differ depending on the ecological niche and behavior of the frog species in question. In summary, the transparent eyelids of frogs are a remarkable adaptation that serves various purposes, from protecting their eyes to facilitating their survival in diverse habitats. These specialized features are just one of the many intriguing aspects of the biology and behavior of these unique amphibians. Sexual dimorphism in frogs refers to the differences in physical characteristics, behavior, or other traits between males and females of the same species. These differences are often related to their reproductive roles and strategies. Frogs exhibit a wide range of sexual dimorphism, and it can manifest in various ways across different species. Here, we will explore the key aspects of sexual dimorphism in frogs. Size and body shape. Size. In many frog species, females are larger than males. This is especially common in species where females need to produce more eggs, and a larger body size allows them to carry more eggs. Body shape. Males may have more slender bodies compared to females. This can be advantageous for males when they need to grasp onto the female during amplexus, a mating position. Coloration and patterns. Coloration. Sexual dimorphism in coloration is widespread among frogs. In some species, males may exhibit brighter and more vibrant colors compared to females. These colors often serve to attract females during courtship rituals. Patterns. Males may also have distinct patterns or markings that help them stand out during courtship displays. These patterns can vary significantly between species. Vocalizations. Calling. Many male frogs are known for their loud and distinct calls during the breeding season. The calls are primarily used to attract females and establish territory. Females of the same species often have less developed vocalizations or lack them altogether. Nuptial pads and spurs. Nuptial pads. Some male frogs possess nuptial pads, which are thickened areas on their thumbs or other parts of their hands. These pads aid in gripping onto the female during amplexus. Spurs. In certain species, males have spurs or sharp projections on their thumbs, which they use for holding onto the female during mating. Secondary sexual characteristics. Throat pouch. In some species, males have expandable throat pouches that they use to amplify their calls. These pouches may become more prominent during the breeding season. Toe length. Male frogs may have longer toes or toe discs, which can help them with better grip during amplexus. Behavioral differences. Mating behavior. Males often actively search for females and engage in complex courtship rituals, such as vocalizations, displays, and physical contact. Females, on the other hand, are typically more passive in their behavior during mating. Parental care. In certain frog species, males are responsible for guarding and caring for the eggs after fertilization, which is known as male parental care. This can lead to differences in behavior and physiology between the sexes. Reproductive anatomy. Cloacal differences. Male and female frogs have slightly different cloacal structures. The male's cloaca typically houses the reproductive organs, including testes, while the female's cloaca contains the ovaries and is adapted for receiving sperm. Life history strategies. Semelparity. In some frog species, females invest heavily in a single, large clutch of eggs, while males may mate with multiple females. This difference in reproductive investment can lead to sexual dimorphism in size and energy allocation. Sexual dimorphism in frogs is a fascinating example of how evolutionary pressures have led to differences in morphology, behavior, and physiology between males and females. These differences play a crucial role in the reproductive success and survival of various frog species and contribute to the overall biodiversity of amphibians. Researchers continue to study sexual dimorphism in frogs to better understand the evolutionary and ecological factors driving these variations. Frogs are fascinating creatures with a variety of intriguing characteristics, and one of their most notable traits is their gluttonous appetites. These amphibians are often considered voracious eaters, and their feeding behaviors have evolved to help them survive and thrive in their diverse habitats. Let's explore the reasons behind frogs' gluttonous appetites and how it impacts their lives. Carnivorous diet. Most frog species are carnivorous, which means they primarily feed on other animals. Their diet typically consists of insects, spiders, worms, and small invertebrates. Some larger frog species may even consume small mammals, birds, or other frogs. This carnivorous nature contributes to their gluttonous appetites as they need to consume a substantial amount of prey to meet their energy requirements. Metabolism: frogs have relatively high metabolisms, which means they burn energy quickly. To maintain their activity levels, especially during periods of hunting and reproduction, they need to consume large quantities of food. Their gluttonous appetites help compensate for their rapid energy expenditure. Ambush predators: many frog species are ambush predators. They sit and wait for prey to come within striking distance, and when an unsuspecting insect or other small animal ventures too close, the frog uses its lightning-fast tongue to snatch the prey. This method allows frogs to conserve energy while maximizing their chances of a successful meal. Quick digestion: frogs have efficient digestive systems that enable them to process food quickly. Their stomachs are adapted to break down food rapidly, which allows them to eat frequently. Some species can even consume prey that is larger than their own heads due to their expandable jaws and stomachs. Seasonal variation: frogs' appetites can vary seasonally. During the breeding season, they may prioritize mating and reproduction over feeding. However, after this period, they often engage in more intensive feeding to recover lost energy and prepare for the next breeding cycle. Size matters: the size of a frog can influence its appetite. Larger frogs tend to eat larger prey items and consume more food in general. Smaller frogs, while still having gluttonous appetites relative to their size, will consume smaller prey. Hunting techniques: different frog species employ various hunting techniques. Some are active hunters, while others are sit-and-wait predators. Active hunters may cover more ground in search of prey, increasing their chances of encountering food. Competition: in habitats with numerous frog species or other predators, competition for food can be intense. This competition can drive frogs to eat more voraciously to secure their share of available prey. Influence on ecosystems: frogs play crucial roles in their ecosystems by controlling insect populations. Their gluttonous appetites for insects help regulate these populations, preventing outbreaks of pest species and maintaining ecological balance. Conservation concerns: unfortunately, many frog species face threats like habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change. These challenges can disrupt their feeding patterns and lead to declines in populations. Conservation efforts are essential to protect these fascinating amphibians and their important roles in ecosystems. In conclusion, frogs' gluttonous appetites are a vital part of their survival strategy. Their efficient hunting techniques, rapid digestion, and high metabolism all contribute to their ability to consume substantial quantities of prey. Understanding these appetites is not only important for appreciating the natural world but also for conserving these intriguing creatures and the ecosystems they inhabit. Frogs, bizarre and unique species. Frogs are one of the most fascinating and unique species in the animal kingdom. These amphibians have captured the imagination of people around the world for centuries, and their bizarre and distinctive characteristics only add to their mystique. From their unusual life cycle to their incredible adaptations, frogs are a testament to the diversity and wonder of the natural world. Metamorphosis: one of the most remarkable aspects of frogs is their life cycle, which involves a process known as metamorphosis. They start their lives as aquatic tadpoles, equipped with gills for breathing underwater. As they grow, they undergo a profound transformation, developing legs, lungs, and other adaptations that allow them to live both in water and on land. This metamorphosis is a biological marvel, showcasing the incredible plasticity of frog physiology. Diversity of species: frogs are not a homogeneous group, they are incredibly diverse with over 6,000 known species found on almost every continent. Each species has its own unique adaptations to its environment. Some frogs are tiny, no bigger than a thumbnail, while others, like the Goliath frog, can grow to be more than a foot long. The vast array of colors, shapes, and behaviors exhibited by these species makes them a subject of endless fascination for biologists and nature enthusiasts alike. Incredible camouflage. Many frogs are masters of camouflage. Their skin can come in a variety of vibrant colors, which serve as a warning to predators that they are toxic. Some frogs, like the mossy frog, take it a step further by resembling pieces of moss or lichen. Others blend seamlessly into their surroundings, making them nearly invisible to predators and potential prey alike. Extreme survival. Frogs are known for their ability to survive in some of the harshest environments on Earth. The wood frog, for example, can endure freezing temperatures by essentially going into suspended animation during winter, only to thaw and resume normal activity when spring arrives. The desert rain frog thrives in arid regions, relying on its ability to burrow underground and absorb moisture from its surroundings. Acoustic expertise. Frogs are renowned for their vocal prowess. Males of many species produce intricate and loud calls to attract females or establish territory. The calls are as diverse as the frogs themselves, ranging from the melodious croak of the common tree frog to the eerie, mechanical-like noises of the spring peeper. Studying frog calls has led to important insights into animal communication and behavior. Environmental indicators. Frogs are often referred to as indicator species because they are highly sensitive to environmental changes. Their permeable skin makes them vulnerable to pollutants and changes in water quality, making them early warning signs of ecological issues. Declines in frog populations have been linked to habitat loss, climate change, and pollution, making their conservation crucial for maintaining the health of ecosystems. In conclusion, frogs are truly bizarre and unique creatures. Their incredible adaptations, diverse species, and importance in ecological monitoring make them an essential part of the natural world. These amphibians remind us of the beauty and complexity of life on Earth and the importance of preserving biodiversity for future generations to marvel at. Frogs may not be the first creatures that come to mind when thinking about cultural cuisine, but they have indeed played a significant role in the culinary traditions of various cultures around the world. Their cultural significance in cuisine is a fascinating and diverse story that highlights the ways in which humans have adapted their diets to their local environments and unique tastes. French delicacy. Perhaps the most famous frog dish is the French cuisses de grenouilles or frog legs. This dish has been considered a delicacy in French cuisine for centuries. The practice of eating frog legs in France dates back to the Roman era, and it gained popularity during the Middle Ages. Today, frog legs are often prepared with garlic, butter, and parsley, creating a delectable and tender dish that remains a symbol of French gastronomy. Chinese tradition. In Chinese cuisine, frogs have been consumed for thousands of years, particularly in southern regions like Guangdong. The Chinese dish tu di or frog stew is a popular and flavorful preparation. Frogs are known for their tender and delicate meat, and they are often used in soups and hot pots, providing a unique texture and flavor that is highly appreciated in Chinese culinary traditions. Thai spiciness. In Thailand, frog meat is commonly used in spicy dishes like pad kra pao, where it is stir-fried with chilies, basil, and garlic. This reflects the Thai love for bold and complex flavors, and frog meat fits perfectly into this profile, adding a unique element to their cuisine. Indigenous Amazonian cuisine. In the Amazon rainforest, indigenous communities have a long history of incorporating frogs into their diets. They often catch and consume a variety of frog species, appreciating their nutritional value and availability in their natural habitat. These indigenous traditions highlight the sustainable use of local resources. Symbolism and taboos. In some cultures, frogs hold symbolic significance beyond their culinary value. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the frog was associated with fertility and rebirth. In contrast, in certain Western cultures, eating frogs might be seen as unusual or even taboo due to their association with fairy tales and folklore. Conservation concerns. The culinary use of frogs has led to concerns about overharvesting and habitat destruction. Some frog species are threatened or endangered due to unsustainable harvesting practices, which has led to the implementation of conservation measures in some regions. In conclusion, frogs have held various cultural significances in cuisine across the globe. They are seen as delicacies, symbols of fertility, and sources of unique flavors in different culinary traditions. However, it's essential to balance the cultural appreciation of frog cuisine with conservation efforts to protect frog populations and their ecosystems for future generations. The diversity of attitudes toward frogs in cuisine serves as a reminder of the intricate relationship between culture, environment, and culinary practices. Frogs are a diverse group of amphibians found all over the world, and they exhibit remarkable diversity in many aspects of their biology, including their reproductive strategies. One fascinating aspect of frog diversity is their eggs. Frog eggs come in various sizes, shapes, colors, and textures, reflecting the diverse habitats and ecological niches that frogs occupy. Size: frog eggs vary greatly in size. Some species produce tiny eggs, no larger than a pinhead, while others lay eggs that are several centimeters in diameter. The size of the eggs is often related to the size of the adult frog. Smaller frogs tend to produce smaller eggs, while larger species lay larger eggs. For instance, the strawberry poison dart frog lays some of the smallest frog eggs, while the Goliath frog lays some of the largest. Shape: frog eggs can be spherical, oval, or even irregular in shape. The shape of the egg often relates to the specific microhabitat where the eggs are laid. Species that lay their eggs in plants or foam nests may have oval-shaped eggs that can better adhere to surfaces, while those that deposit their eggs in water may have spherical eggs that can float. Color: the color of frog eggs can vary significantly. Some eggs are transparent, allowing you to see the developing embryo inside, while others can be brown, black, white, or brightly colored. The coloration of frog eggs may serve various functions, including camouflage, protection from UV radiation, or warning signals to potential predators. Texture: frog eggs can have different textures, which can influence their protection and development. Some species have gelatinous egg masses that protect the eggs from drying out and predators. Others have a jelly-like coating around each individual egg to keep them hydrated. The texture of the eggs can also affect their adhesion to surfaces. Clutch size: the number of eggs in a frog clutch can vary significantly among species. Some frogs lay just a few eggs at a time, while others produce hundreds or even thousands of eggs in a single clutch. The size of the clutch is often related to the reproductive strategy of the species, with those that produce more eggs compensating for higher mortality rates. Deposition sites: frogs have adapted to a wide range of habitats, and this is reflected in the diversity of egg deposition sites. Some frogs lay their eggs in water, attaching them to submerged vegetation or other surfaces. Others lay their eggs in terrestrial nests or foam nests, and a few species even carry their eggs on their backs. Some frogs deposit their eggs in temporary pools, while others prefer permanent water bodies. Developmental modes: frog eggs also vary in their developmental modes. While most frogs have aquatic larvae, tadpoles, there are exceptions. Some species skip the tadpole stage altogether and develop directly into froglets within the egg. This diversity in developmental modes reflects the adaptability of frogs to different ecological niches. In conclusion, frog eggs showcase an incredible diversity of characteristics, reflecting the adaptability of frogs to various environments and ecological niches. Understanding the diversity of frog eggs is not only important for biological research but also for conservation efforts, as it highlights the unique reproductive strategies and needs of different frog species. Frogs are fascinating creatures known for their unusual locomotion, which sets them apart from many other animals. Their unique way of moving is a result of their specialized anatomy and evolved adaptations to their semi-aquatic lifestyle. Here are some insights into the unusual locomotion of frogs. Jumping: frogs are renowned for their incredible jumping ability. They employ a powerful leg muscle called the gastrocnemius to generate explosive force. When a frog wants to move, it contracts this muscle, storing energy like a coiled spring. When it's ready to leap, the frog releases this energy, propelling itself into the air. The hind legs provide the majority of the thrust, while the forelimbs help to stabilize and steer. Some frog species can jump up to 20 times their body length, which is an astounding feat considering their relatively short legs. Swimming: while frogs are primarily terrestrial, they are also proficient swimmers. They use their webbed feet to paddle through water. The webbing between their toes acts like oars, allowing them to move efficiently. Frogs exhibit various swimming styles, from the leisurely gliding of tree frogs on the water's surface to the more robust swimming of aquatic species. Crawling: when frogs are not jumping or swimming, they often move by crawling. They use their front limbs to pull themselves forward while pushing with their hind limbs. This crawling motion is particularly evident when they are on land, in search of food or a suitable breeding site. Burrowing: some frogs are adapted for burrowing and exhibit a unique form of locomotion while digging through soft, moist soil. They use their front limbs to shovel the soil backward, allowing them to burrow efficiently. Their streamlined bodies and powerful limbs help them navigate through underground tunnels. Climbing: certain tree-dwelling frogs have evolved specialized adaptations for climbing. They possess adhesive toe pads with tiny structures called papillae that help them grip onto various surfaces. These adaptations enable them to scale vertical tree trunks and leaves with ease. Hopping on lily pads: frogs living in aquatic environments often display a peculiar form of locomotion on floating vegetation, such as lily pads. They use a series of small hops or glides to move across these surfaces, avoiding sinking into the water. Gliding: some tree frogs have developed an ability to glide short distances using expanded skin membranes, known as patagia, between their fingers and toes. They leap from a perch and control their descent to navigate between trees or escape predators. Frog locomotion is a prime example of how animals adapt to their environments and lifestyles. Whether it's the explosive jumps of terrestrial frogs, the graceful swimming of aquatic species, or the specialized movements of tree frogs, these creatures have developed a wide range of locomotion strategies to thrive in their diverse habitats. These adaptations are not only fascinating but also crucial for their survival in the wild. Frogs are renowned for their exceptional jumping abilities, and their prowess in this regard is nothing short of astonishing. While they may not be the first animals that come to mind when you think of long jumpers, frogs are actually some of the best in the animal kingdom. Here, we'll explore the fascinating world of frog jumping and what makes them such remarkable long jumpers. Muscular legs: one of the key factors that enable frogs to be such excellent long jumpers is their powerful hind legs. These legs are specially adapted for jumping, with strong muscles that allow them to generate a significant amount of force in a short amount of time. These muscles contract rapidly, propelling the frog into the air with great force. Unique skeletal structure: frogs have a unique skeletal structure that aids in their jumping. Their elongated leg bones, particularly the tibia and fibula, act like a catapult, storing energy as the frog crouches down and then releasing it explosively when it jumps. This structure allows frogs to achieve impressive distances with their leaps. Leverage: frogs have evolved to maximize leverage when they jump. Their long, muscular limbs are positioned to provide optimal leverage, allowing them to push off the ground with great force. This leverage, combined with the rapid contraction of their leg muscles, results in impressive jumps. Webbed feet: many frog species have webbed feet that serve multiple purposes. In addition to aiding in swimming, these webbed feet provide a larger surface area when pushing off the ground, allowing for more efficient jumps. The webbing also helps frogs maintain stability during their leaps. Jumping techniques: frogs use different techniques for jumping, depending on their specific ecological niche. Some frogs, like tree frogs, use vertical jumping to reach elevated perches or escape predators. Others, like bullfrogs, are known for their impressive horizontal leaps when jumping into water. These techniques showcase the versatility of frog jumping abilities. Size matters: the size of a frog can influence the distance it can jump. Larger frogs tend to jump farther than smaller ones due to their greater muscle mass and longer limbs. However, even smaller frog species can achieve remarkable distances relative to their size. Energy efficiency: frogs are incredibly energy efficient jumpers. Their unique adaptations and jumping mechanics allow them to cover considerable distances with minimal energy expenditure, which is crucial for survival in their often challenging environments. Predator escape: frog jumping is not just about setting records, it's a critical survival skill. Frogs use their jumping abilities to escape from predators, whether it's a snake lunging for a meal or a hungry bird swooping down. Their quick and powerful jumps can mean the difference between life and death. Human studies: scientists have long been fascinated by frog jumping. Research on frog jumping has provided insights into biomechanics and physiology, and it has even influenced fields like robotics, where engineers have looked to frog jumping mechanisms for inspiration in designing jumping robots. Record-breaking leaps: while the distance frogs can jump varies among species, some have been known to achieve remarkable feats. The South African frog species called the common spadefoot holds the record for the longest jump relative to body length, with individuals capable of leaping up to 10 times their body length. In conclusion, frogs are truly exceptional long jumpers, thanks to their muscular legs, unique skeletal structure, leverage, and specialized adaptations. Their ability to leap great distances serves various purposes in their ecological niches, from predator evasion to securing food and mates. Frog jumping also offers valuable insights into biomechanics and has practical applications in fields like robotics. These amphibians are a testament to the incredible diversity and adaptability of life on Earth. Frog biofluorescence is a fascinating phenomenon that has only recently been discovered. It is the ability of frogs to absorb ultraviolet, UV, light and re-emit it as a visible color, such as green, orange, or red. Biofluorescence is found in a wide variety of frog species, from glass frogs to tree frogs to poison dart frogs. The chemical compounds that cause frogs to fluoresce are called fluorophores. Fluorophores are found in the skin, bones, and other tissues of frogs. The exact type of fluorophore varies from species to species. For example, the glass frog, Centralnella fleischmanni, fluoresces green due to a fluorophore called hyaline. Frog biofluorescence is most visible under UV light. However, some frogs can also fluoresce under visible light, especially at twilight. This is because the blue light that dominates at twilight is similar to the UV light that frogs absorb. Scientists are still learning about the function of frog biofluorescence. However, it is thought to play a role in a variety of behaviors, including communication. Frogs may use their biofluorescence to communicate with each other, especially during mating and breeding season. For example, the male glass frog uses his biofluorescent green belly to attract females. Camouflage: some frogs may use their biofluorescence to camouflage themselves from predators or prey. For example, the poison dart frog, Philobates terribilis, fluoresces bright green under UV light. This makes the frog easy for other frogs to see, but it also makes it difficult for predators to see the frog in the rainforest undergrowth. Defense: some frogs may use their biofluorescence to warn predators that they are poisonous. For example, the harlequin frog, Atelopus ziteki, fluoresces bright yellow and orange under UV light. This coloration is a warning to predators that the frog is toxic. Frog biofluorescence is a remarkable example of the diversity and adaptability of frogs. It is also a reminder that there is still much to learn about these fascinating creatures. In addition to the roles listed above, frog biofluorescence may also play a role in other behaviors, such as temperature regulation. Some frogs may use their biofluorescence to absorb heat from the sun. This can help them to stay warm in cold environments. Vitamin D synthesis: some frogs may use their biofluorescence to produce vitamin D. Vitamin D is important for bone health and other bodily functions. Pathogen defense: some frogs may use their biofluorescence to defend themselves against pathogens, such as bacteria and viruses. Frog biofluorescence is a relatively new area of research. Scientists are still learning about the different ways that frogs use their biofluorescence and the ecological benefits of this ability. How to see frog biofluorescence? To see frog biofluorescence, you will need a UV light. You can purchase UV lights online or at some pet stores. Once you have a UV light, simply shine it on a frog to see if it fluoresces. The best time to see frog biofluorescence is at twilight. This is because the blue light that dominates at twilight is similar to the UV light that frogs absorb. It is important to note that not all frogs fluoresce. And even those that do fluoresce may not be visible to the naked eye. If you are having trouble seeing frog biofluorescence, you may want to try using a camera with a long exposure time. Conservation implications. Frog biofluorescence is a unique and fascinating trait. However, it is also important to note that frogs are facing a number of threats, including habitat loss, climate change, and pollution. Conserving frog populations is important for a number of reasons. Frogs play an important role in the ecosystem, helping to control insect populations and other pests. Frogs are also a food source for other animals, such as snakes and birds. In addition, frogs are a source of many important medicines. For example, the skin of some frogs contains compounds that can be used to treat pain and inflammation. By conserving frog populations, we can help to protect this important group of animals and ensure that future generations can continue to enjoy their biofluorescence. Frogs have made significant contributions to medicine, both through their use in medical research and through the discovery of medicinal compounds in their skin secretions. Frogs in medical research. Frogs have been used in medical research for centuries. They are relatively easy to care for in the laboratory, and their embryos develop outside the body, making them easy to study. Frogs are also a good model for studying human diseases, as they share many of the same physiological and developmental processes. Frogs have played a role in many important medical breakthroughs, including the development of the polio vaccine. Jonas Salk used frog kidney cells to grow the polio virus, which was essential for the development of his vaccine. The discovery of DNA. In 1952, Rosalind Franklin used X-ray diffraction images of frog sperm to help Watson and Crick determine the structure of DNA. The development of in vitro fertilization, IVF. In the 1970s, scientists used frog eggs to develop the first successful IVF procedures. The study of cancer. Frogs are used to study cancer biology and develop new cancer treatments. For example, scientists have used frog embryos to study the development of leukemia and to test new drugs that target cancer cells. The study of regeneration. Frogs are able to regenerate lost limbs and other tissues. This makes them an important model for studying regeneration and developing new treatments for injuries and diseases. Medicinal compounds in frog skin secretions. Frogs produce a variety of compounds in their skin secretions that have medicinal properties. These compounds include peptides, alkaloids, and steroids. Some of the medicinal compounds found in frog skin secretions include antimicrobial peptides. These peptides can kill bacteria, viruses, and fungi. They are being investigated as potential new antibiotics to treat infections that are resistant to existing drugs. Pain relievers. Some frog skin secretions contain compounds that have pain-relieving properties. These compounds are being investigated as potential new drugs for treating chronic pain. Anti-cancer compounds. Some frog skin secretions contain compounds that have anti-cancer properties. These compounds are being investigated as potential new cancer treatments. Conclusion. Frogs have made significant contributions to medicine, both through their use in medical research and through the discovery of medicinal compounds in their skin secretions. Frogs are a valuable resource for scientists, and their continued conservation is important for the future of medicine. Frogs produce a wide variety of sounds, from the familiar croak of the bullfrog to the high-pitched trill of the spring peeper. Frog sounds are used for a variety of purposes, including attracting mates, defending territories, and communicating with other frogs. The diversity of frog sounds is due to a number of factors, including the size and shape of the frog's vocal sac, the type of frog, and the environment in which the frog lives. Size and shape of the vocal sac. The vocal sac is a balloon-like structure that frogs use to amplify their calls. The size and shape of the vocal sac can vary greatly from species to species. For example, the bullfrog has a large, expandable vocal sac that allows it to produce loud, booming croaks. In contrast, the spring peeper has a small vocal sac that produces high-pitched trills. Type of frog. There are over 7,000 species of frogs in the world, and each species has its own unique call. Some frogs, such as the bullfrog, have loud, distinctive calls that can be heard from long distances. Other frogs, such as the spring peeper, have soft calls that can only be heard from close range. Environment. The environment in which a frog lives can also affect its call. For example, frogs that live in noisy environments may produce louder calls to be heard over the background noise. Frogs that live in dense vegetation may produce higher-pitched calls to avoid overlapping with the calls of other frogs. Examples of frog sounds. Here are a few examples of the diverse sounds that frogs can produce. Bullfrog. The bullfrog is known for its loud, booming croak. Bullfrog croaks can be heard from up to a mile away. Spring peeper. The spring peeper is a small frog that produces a high-pitched trill. Spring peeper trills can be heard from a few hundred feet away. Pacific tree frog. The Pacific tree frog produces a variety of calls, including a chirping call and a whistling call. Pacific tree frog calls can be heard from a few hundred feet away. Glass frog. The glass frog is a transparent frog that produces a soft, cooing call. Glass frog calls can be heard from a few feet away. Poison dart frog. Poison dart frogs produce a variety of calls, including a buzzing call and a clicking call. Poison dart frog calls can be heard from a few dozen feet away. Frog sounds are an important part of the natural world. They play a role in frog communication and reproduction, and they add to the rich soundscape of many ecosystems. Functions of frog sounds. Frog sounds are used for a variety of purposes, including attracting mates. Male frogs use their calls to attract females. The calls of different frog species are typically unique, so females can easily identify the species of the male frog that is calling. Defending territories. Male frogs also use their calls to defend their territories from other males. The calls of male frogs are typically louder and more aggressive than the calls of females. Communicating with other frogs. Frogs also use their calls to communicate with other frogs, such as to warn them of predators or to coordinate foraging activities. Frog sounds are an important part of frog behavior and ecology. They play a role in frog communication, reproduction, and territoriality. Conclusion. Frog sounds are diverse and fascinating. They are a product of the size and shape of the frog's vocal sac, the type of frog, and the environment in which the frog lives. Frog sounds are used for a variety of purposes, including attracting mates, defending territories, and communicating with other frogs. Frog sounds are an important part of the natural world, and they add to the rich soundscape of many ecosystems. Frogs have evolved a variety of adaptations to help them survive in their diverse habitats. These adaptations include camouflage. Frogs come in a variety of colors and patterns, which helps them to blend in with their surroundings and avoid predators. For example, some tree frogs are green to camouflage them with the leaves in the trees. Other frogs have brown or mottled patterns to camouflage them with the forest floor. Toxicity. Some frogs produce toxins in their skin to deter predators. For example, poison dart frogs produce a powerful toxin that is deadly to many predators. Long tongues. Frogs have long, sticky tongues that they use to catch insects and other prey. Their tongues can be flicked out at lightning speed, allowing them to catch prey quickly and efficiently. Webbed feet. Frogs have webbed feet that help them to swim. This is important for frogs that live in water or near water, as it allows them to escape predators and catch prey. Powerful hind legs. Frogs have powerful hind legs that allow them to jump long distances. This is important for frogs that need to escape predators or catch prey. Permeable skin. Frogs have permeable skin, which means that they can absorb oxygen and water directly through their skin. This is important for frogs that live in moist environments, as it allows them to stay hydrated and breathe even when they are not in water. Cold-blooded metabolism. Frogs are cold-blooded animals, which means that their body temperature changes with the temperature of their environment. This allows frogs to live in a variety of climates, including cold climates where warm-blooded animals would not be able to survive. In addition to these general adaptations, frogs have also evolved a number of specialized adaptations to help them survive in specific habitats. For example, some frogs that live in deserts have developed thick skin to prevent them from drying out. Other frogs that live in trees have developed sticky toe pads that help them to climb. Frog survival adaptations are a testament to the diversity and adaptability of these amazing creatures. Frogs have evolved a wide range of adaptations to help them survive in a variety of habitats, from the rainforest to the desert. These adaptations allow frogs to play an important role in many ecosystems around the world. Here are some examples of how frogs use their adaptations to survive in different habitats. Tree frogs. Tree frogs use their camouflage to blend in with the leaves in the trees. They also have sticky toe pads that help them to climb. Desert frogs. Desert frogs have thick skin to prevent them from drying out. They also burrow underground during the day to escape the heat. Water frogs. Water frogs have webbed feet and streamlined bodies that help them to swim. They also have eyes on the top of their heads so that they can see while swimming. Poison dart frogs. Poison dart frogs produce toxins in their skin to deter predators. They also have bright colors to warn predators that they are poisonous. Frog survival adaptations are essential for the survival of these amazing creatures. Frogs play an important role in many ecosystems around the world, and their adaptations allow them to thrive in a variety of habitats. Frogs are one of the most endangered groups of animals on the planet. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, nearly one-third of all frog species are threatened or extinct. There are a number of factors that are contributing to the decline of frogs, including habitat loss. Frogs are very sensitive to changes in their environment. Habitat loss due to deforestation, agriculture, and urbanization is a major threat to frogs. Climate change. Climate change is causing changes in temperature, precipitation, and sea levels, which is disrupting frog habitats and making it difficult for frogs to survive. Pollution. Frogs are also sensitive to pollution in the water and air. Pollution from pesticides, fertilizers, and other chemicals can poison frogs and disrupt their reproductive cycles. Invasive species. Invasive species, such as bullfrogs and snakes, can compete with native frogs for food and habitat, and they can also prey on frogs. Diseases. Frogs are susceptible to a number of diseases, including chytridiomycosis, which is a fungal disease that is responsible for the decline of many frog species. The decline of frogs is a serious problem because frogs play an important role in many ecosystems. Frogs are predators of insects and other pests, and they are also a food source for other animals, such as snakes, birds, and bats. Frogs also help to maintain the water quality in wetlands and other ecosystems. There are a number of things that can be done to help protect frogs, including protecting frog habitat. Conserving and restoring frog habitats is essential for the survival of frogs. This includes protecting forests, wetlands, and other areas where frogs live. Reducing pollution. Reducing water and air pollution is also important for frogs. This can be done by reducing the use of pesticides and fertilizers, and by supporting policies that reduce air pollution. Controlling invasive species. Controlling invasive species that prey on frogs is also important for their survival. This can be done through trapping, hunting, and other methods. Educating the public. Educating the public about the importance of frogs and the threats they face is also important. This can help to raise awareness of the problem and encourage people to take action to protect frogs. Frogs are amazing creatures that play an important role in many ecosystems. By taking steps to protect frogs, we can help to ensure that these creatures continue to thrive for generations to come. Giant frogs are some of the most fascinating and impressive creatures on Earth. They are also some of the most endangered. The largest frog in the world is the Goliath frog, Conroe goliath, which can grow up to 12.6 inches, 32 centimeters, long and weigh up to 7.2 pounds, 3.3 kilograms. Goliath frogs are found in the rainforests of Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. They are sit-and-wait predators, and they eat a variety of prey, including fish, snakes, birds, and small mammals. Other giant frogs include the Lake Junin frog, Tulmatobius culeus, which can grow up to 11.8 inches, 30 centimeters, long, and the Chilean giant frog, Calyptocephalilla chilensis, which can grow up to 12.6 inches, 32 centimeters, long. These frogs are found in South America, and they are both threatened or endangered. Giant frogs play an important role in their ecosystems. They are predators of insects and other pests, and they are also a food source for other animals, such as snakes, birds, and bats. Giant frogs also help to maintain the water quality in wetlands and other ecosystems. Unfortunately, giant frogs are facing a number of threats, including habitat loss, pollution, and invasive species. Habitat loss due to deforestation, agriculture, and urbanization is a major threat to giant frogs. Pollution from pesticides, fertilizers, and other chemicals can also poison giant frogs and disrupt their reproductive cycles. Invasive species, such as bullfrogs and snakes, can compete with native giant frogs for food and habitat, and they can also prey on giant frogs. There are a number of things that can be done to help protect giant frogs, including protecting giant frog habitat. Conserving and restoring giant frog habitats is essential for the survival of these creatures. This includes protecting forests, wetlands, and other areas where giant frogs live. Reducing pollution, reducing water and air pollution is also important for giant frogs. This can be done by reducing the use of pesticides and fertilizers, and by supporting policies that reduce air pollution. Controlling invasive species. Controlling invasive species that prey on giant frogs is also important for their survival. This can be done through trapping, hunting, and other methods. Educating the public. Educating the public about the importance of giant frogs and the threats they face is also important. This can help to raise awareness of the problem and encourage people to take action to protect giant frogs. Giant frogs are amazing creatures that play an important role in their ecosystems. By taking steps to protect giant frogs, we can help to ensure that these creatures continue to thrive for generations to come. Frogs have a variety of symbiotic relationships with other organisms. Symbiosis is a close relationship between two or more different species of organisms. There are three main types of symbiotic relationships: mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. Mutualism is a symbiotic relationship in which both organisms benefit. Frogs have a number of mutualistic relationships with other organisms, including algae. Some frogs, such as the glass frog, Centralnella fleischmanni, have a mutualistic relationship with algae. The algae live in the frog's skin and provide the frog with camouflage and nutrients. In return, the frog provides the algae with a place to live and access to sunlight. Bacteria. Some frogs, such as the poison dart frog, Philobates terribilis, have a mutualistic relationship with bacteria. The bacteria live in the frog's skin and produce toxins that protect the frog from predators. In return, the frog provides the bacteria with a place to live and access to nutrients. Mites. Some frogs, such as the hairy frog, Trichocephalus hamidus, have a mutualistic relationship with mites. The mites live in the frog's skin and help to keep it clean and free of parasites. In return, the frog provides the mites with a place to live and access to food. Commensalism is a symbiotic relationship in which one organism benefits from the relationship while the other organism is neither harmed nor benefited. Frogs have a number of commensalistic relationships with other organisms, including flies. Some frogs, such as the tree frog, Hylidae, have a commensalistic relationship with flies. The flies lay their eggs in the frog's water, and the frog eats the fly larvae. The frog benefits from the extra food source, but the fly is neither harmed nor benefited. Leeches, some frogs, such as the bullfrog, Lithobates catesbionus, have a commensalistic relationship with leeches. The leeches attach themselves to the frog's skin and suck its blood. The frog is not harmed by the leeches, but it does not benefit from the relationship either. Parasitism is a symbiotic relationship in which one organism benefits from the relationship while the other organism is harmed. Frogs have a number of parasitic relationships with other organisms, including helminths. Helminths are parasitic worms that can infect frogs. Helminths can cause a variety of problems for frogs, including weight loss, diarrhea, and anemia. Trematodes. Trematodes are parasitic flatworms that can infect frogs. Trematodes can cause a variety of problems for frogs, including liver damage and lung damage. Nematodes. Nematodes are parasitic roundworms that can infect frogs. Nematodes can cause a variety of problems for frogs, including weight loss, diarrhea, and blindness. Frog symbiotic relationships are complex and play an important role in the frog ecosystem. Frogs benefit from their symbiotic relationships in a variety of ways, including camouflage, protection from predators, and access to food and nutrients. However, frogs can also be harmed by their symbiotic relationships, especially if they are infected by parasites. Frog egg brooding is the process of a frog parent caring for its eggs. This can be done in a variety of ways, depending on the species of frog. Some frog species brood their eggs externally. This means that the frog parent carries the eggs on their body until they hatch. For example, the male midwife toad, Allides obstetricans, carries the eggs of the female on his back until they hatch. Other frog species brood their eggs internally. This means that the eggs develop inside the frog parent's body until they hatch. For example, the female Suriname toad, Pipa pipa, has a pouch on her back where her eggs develop. Frog egg brooding is important for the survival of frog eggs. It helps to protect the eggs from predators and parasites. It also helps to keep the eggs moist and warm, which is necessary for them to hatch. There are a variety of different ways that frog parents brood their eggs. Some of the most common methods include belly brooding. The frog parent carries the eggs on their belly. This is the most common type of egg brooding in frogs. Back brooding. The frog parent carries the eggs on their back. This is less common than belly brooding, but it is found in some frog species, such as the midwife toad. Mouth brooding. The frog parent carries the eggs in their mouth. This is a very rare type of egg brooding, but it is found in some frog species, such as the Darwin's frog, Rhinoderma darwinii. Vocal sac brooding. The frog parent carries the eggs in their vocal sac. This is another rare type of egg brooding, but it is found in some frog species, such as the glass frog, Centralnella fleischmanni. Frog egg brooding can last for a few days to a few weeks, depending on the species of frog. Once the eggs hatch, the frog parent will typically release the tadpoles into the water. Frog egg brooding is a fascinating and important part of frog reproduction. It helps to ensure that frog eggs survive and hatch, which is essential for the survival of frog populations. Here are some examples of frog egg brooding. Male midwife toad. The male midwife toad carries the eggs of the female on his back until they hatch. He keeps the eggs moist and oxygenated by urinating on them regularly. Female Suriname toad. The female Suriname toad has a pouch on her back where her eggs develop. The eggs hatch into tadpoles inside the pouch, and the tadpoles emerge from the pouch once they are fully developed. Darwin's frog. The male Darwin's frog carries the eggs in his mouth until they hatch. He keeps the eggs moist and oxygenated by swallowing them and then spitting them back up. Glass frog. The male glass frog carries the eggs in his vocal sac until they hatch. He keeps the eggs moist and oxygenated by keeping his vocal sac inflated. Frog egg brooding is a complex and fascinating process that plays an important role in frog reproduction. It helps to ensure that frog eggs survive and hatch, which is essential for the survival of frog populations. Frog mimicry is a fascinating phenomenon in which one species of frog evolves to resemble another species of frog. This can be done for a variety of reasons, including, to avoid predators. Some frogs mimic more toxic species of frogs in order to avoid being eaten by predators. For example, the mimic poison dart frog, Ranidomia imitator, mimics the appearance of more toxic poison dart frog species. To attract prey, some frogs mimic less toxic species of frogs in order to attract prey. For example, the harlequin frog, Atelopus zateki, mimics the appearance of less toxic frogs in order to attract prey. To attract mates, some frogs mimic other species of frogs in order to attract mates. For example, the male glass frog, Centralnella fleischmanni, mimics the appearance of the female glass frog in order to attract mates. Frog mimicry is often very complex. For example, the mimic poison dart frog, Ranidomia imitator, can mimic the appearance of multiple species of poison dart frogs. This is known as multiple mimicry. Frog mimicry is also very adaptive. This means that frogs can evolve to mimic other species of frogs relatively quickly. This is important because it allows frogs to adapt to changes in their environment, such as the introduction of new predators or prey. Frog mimicry is an important part of frog ecology. It helps frogs to survive and reproduce in a variety of environments. It also plays a role in frog speciation. Here are some examples of frog mimicry. The mimic poison dart frog, Ranidomia imitator, mimics the appearance of more toxic poison dart frog species. This helps to protect the mimic poison dart frog from predators. The harlequin frog, Atelopus zateki, mimics the appearance of less toxic frogs in order to attract prey. This is an example of aggressive mimicry. The male glass frog, Centralnella fleischmanni, mimics the appearance of the female glass frog in order to attract mates. This is an example of sexual mimicry. Frog mimicry is a fascinating and important phenomenon that plays a vital role in frog ecology and speciation. The oldest known frog fossils date back to the early Triassic period, over 200 million years ago. These fossils are from small, primitive frogs that lived in swamps and other wet habitats. Over time, frogs evolved into a wide variety of shapes and sizes, and they spread to all continents except Antarctica. Frog fossils are relatively rare, but they have been found in all over the world. Some of the most famous frog fossils include Triadabatrachus masonodi. This frog fossil from the early Triassic period is the oldest known frog fossil. Triadabatrachus masonodi was a small frog with a long tail and a flat head. Beelzebufo ampinga, this frog fossil from the late Cretaceous period is one of the largest frogs that ever lived. Beelzebufo ampinga was over 16 inches long and weighed over 6 pounds. Calyptocephalus galdii, this frog fossil from the late Pleistocene period is the oldest known fossil of a glass frog. Calyptocephalus galdii was similar to modern glass frogs, with transparent skin and large eyes. Frog fossils provide scientists with valuable information about the evolution of frogs and their habitats over time. For example, frog fossils from the Triassic period suggest that frogs originated in warm, humid climates. Frog fossils from the Jurassic and Cretaceous period suggest that frogs spread to a variety of habitats, including deserts and forests. Frog fossils also provide scientists with information about the diversity of frogs in the past. For example, frog fossils from the Paleogene period suggest that there were a much wider variety of frogs in North America than there are today. Frog fossils are an important part of the fossil record, and they provide scientists with valuable information about the evolution and diversity of frogs. Here are some of the things that scientists can learn from frog fossils. The evolution of frog anatomy. Frog fossils can help scientists to understand how frog anatomy has changed over time. For example, frog fossils from the Triassic period suggest that frogs originally had long tails and flat heads. However, frog fossils from the Jurassic period suggest that frogs evolved shorter tails and more rounded heads. The diversity of frogs in the past. Frog fossils can help scientists to understand the diversity of frogs in the past. For example, frog fossils from the Paleogene period suggest that there were a much wider variety of frogs in North America than there are today. The paleoecology of frogs. Frog fossils can help scientists to understand the habitats and lifestyles of frogs in the past. For example, frog fossils from the Triassic period suggest that frogs originated in warm, humid climates. Frog fossils from the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods suggest that frogs spread to a variety of habitats, including deserts and forests. Frog fossils are an important tool for understanding the evolution, diversity, and paleoecology of frogs. Frogs have been used as symbols in many ancient cultures around the world. They are often associated with water, fertility, and transformation. In ancient Egypt, the frog goddess Heket was associated with fertility and rebirth. She was often depicted as a woman with the head of a frog. Heket was believed to protect women during childbirth and to help babies to be born healthy. In ancient China, the frog was associated with longevity and good luck. It was also believed to be a symbol of transformation, as it changes form from an egg to a tadpole to a frog. Frogs were often depicted in Chinese art and literature, and they were also used in traditional Chinese medicine. In ancient Greece and Rome, the frog was associated with the goddess of love and beauty, Aphrodite. Frogs were also believed to be a symbol of fertility and abundance. In Mesoamerican cultures, the frog was associated with rain and fertility. The Aztec rain god Tlaloc was often depicted as a frog or as a man with frog features. Frogs were also used in Aztec religious ceremonies and rituals. In Native American cultures, the frog is often seen as a symbol of wisdom and transformation. Some Native American tribes have frog clans, and frog stories are common in Native American mythology. Frogs continue to be used as symbols in many cultures today. They are often used in environmentalism and conservation movements, as they are seen as a symbol of the importance of water and wetlands. Frogs are also used in popular culture, and they can be seen in movies, TV shows, books, and video games. Here are some examples of frog symbolism in different cultures. Ancient Egypt, Heket, the frog goddess, was associated with fertility and rebirth. Ancient China, the frog was associated with longevity, good luck, and transformation. Ancient Greece and Rome, the frog was associated with the goddess of love and beauty, Aphrodite. Mesoamerican cultures, the frog was associated with rain and fertility. Native American cultures, the frog is often seen as a symbol of wisdom and transformation. Frogs have been used as symbols for centuries, and they continue to be used today in many cultures around the world. They are often associated with water, fertility, transformation, and good luck. Frogs are known for their amazing regenerative abilities. They can regenerate lost limbs, skin, and even parts of their brains. This is due to a number of factors, including stem cells. Frogs have a large population of stem cells in their bodies. Stem cells are undifferentiated cells that can develop into any type of cell in the body. This makes them essential for regeneration. Growth factors. Frogs produce a variety of growth factors that promote cell growth and differentiation. These growth factors are essential for the regeneration of lost tissues. Extracellular matrix. The extracellular matrix is a network of proteins and other molecules that surrounds and supports cells. The extracellular matrix in frogs is very flexible and can be easily remodeled, which is important for regeneration. The regenerative abilities of frogs have been studied by scientists for many years. Scientists are interested in understanding how frogs regenerate in order to develop new treatments for human injuries and diseases. Here are some examples of frog regeneration. Limb regeneration. Frogs can regenerate lost limbs completely. The new limb will be the same size and shape as the original limb. Skin regeneration. Frogs can regenerate lost skin quickly. The new skin will be the same color and pattern as the original skin. Brain regeneration. Frogs can regenerate parts of their brains that have been damaged. This allows them to recover from injuries such as strokes. Frog regeneration is a complex process that is still not fully understood. However, scientists are making progress in understanding how frogs regenerate, and this knowledge could lead to new treatments for human injuries and diseases. Here are some of the ways that scientists are studying frog regeneration. Identifying the genes involved in regeneration. Scientists are identifying the genes that are involved in frog regeneration. This could lead to the development of new drugs that could promote regeneration in humans. Understanding the role of stem cells in regeneration. Scientists are studying the role of stem cells in frog regeneration. This could lead to the development of new stem cell therapies for human injuries and diseases. Developing new biomaterials to promote regeneration. Scientists are developing new biomaterials that could be used to promote regeneration in humans. These biomaterials could be used to create scaffolds for new tissues to grow on. Frog regeneration is a fascinating and promising area of research. By understanding how frogs regenerate, scientists could develop new treatments for human injuries and diseases. Alimentary cannibalism is a type of cannibalism in which an animal eats its own offspring. This behavior has been observed in a number of animals, including frogs. There are a number of reasons why frogs may engage in alimentary cannibalism. One reason is that it can be a way for frogs to obtain the nutrients they need. Frog eggs are a good source of protein, and tadpoles are also a good source of food. Another reason why frogs may engage in alimentary cannibalism is to reduce competition for resources. Tadpoles often compete with each other for food and space. By eating some of their tadpoles, frogs can reduce the competition for their remaining tadpoles. Alimentary cannibalism can also be a way for frogs to defend their nests. If a predator approaches a frog's nest, the frog may eat some of its tadpoles in order to deter the predator. Alimentary cannibalism is a complex behavior that is not fully understood. However, it is thought to be an adaptive behavior that helps frogs to survive and reproduce in a variety of environments. Here are some examples of alimentary cannibalism in frogs. The bullfrog, Lithobates catesbionus, is a well-known example of a frog that engages in alimentary cannibalism. Bullfrog tadpoles will often eat smaller bullfrog tadpoles. The spring peeper, Pseudacris crucifer, is another frog that engages in alimentary cannibalism. Spring peeper tadpoles will often eat other spring peeper tadpoles, especially when food is scarce. The Pacific tree frog, Pseudacris regula, is a frog that engages in alimentary cannibalism under certain conditions. For example, Pacific tree frog tadpoles will eat smaller Pacific tree frog tadpoles if they are crowded together. Alimentary cannibalism is a fascinating and important behavior in frogs. It is a way for frogs to obtain nutrients, reduce competition for resources, and defend their nests. Here are some of the pros and cons of alimentary cannibalism in frogs. Pros: it can be a way for frogs to obtain the nutrients they need. It can reduce competition for resources. It can be a way for frogs to defend their nests. Cons: it can reduce the number of frogs that survive to adulthood. It can spread diseases among frogs. It can attract predators to frog nests. Overall, alimentary cannibalism is a complex behavior with both pros and cons. It is important to note that alimentary cannibalism is not always a bad thing. In some cases, it can be a necessary behavior that helps frogs to survive and reproduce. Cave-dwelling frogs are a diverse group of frogs that have adapted to living in caves and other underground habitats. These frogs have evolved a number of unique features to help them survive in these harsh environments, including reduced eyes. Many cave-dwelling frogs have reduced eyes or even no eyes at all. This is because they do not need good vision in the dark environment of a cave. Elongated limbs. Some cave-dwelling frogs have elongated limbs, which help them to navigate the tight spaces and uneven surfaces of caves. Pale skin. Many cave-dwelling frogs have pale skin, which helps to camouflage them in the dark environment of a cave. Slow metabolism. Cave-dwelling frogs have a slow metabolism, which allows them to survive on less food. Cave-dwelling frogs play an important role in the cave ecosystem. They are a food source for cave bats and other predators. They also help to control populations of insects and other invertebrates in caves. Here are some examples of cave-dwelling frogs. Cave-dwelling frog, Rhinoidea cavernicola. This frog is found in Australia and is one of the most well-studied cave-dwelling frogs. Siamophrine troglodytes. This frog is found in Thailand and is one of the smallest cave-dwelling frogs in the world. Proteus anguinus. This frog is found in Europe and is known for its pale skin and elongated limbs. Cave-dwelling frogs are an important part of the cave ecosystem and are a fascinating group of animals. They have evolved a number of unique features to help them survive in these harsh environments. Cave-dwelling frogs are facing a number of threats, including habitat loss, pollution, and climate change. Habitat loss is a major threat, as caves are often destroyed for development or mining. Pollution from pesticides and other chemicals can also harm cave-dwelling frogs. Climate change is also a threat, as it is causing changes in temperature and humidity in caves, which can make them less suitable for frogs to live in. There are a number of things that can be done to help protect cave-dwelling frogs, including protecting cave habitats. Protecting cave habitats is essential for the survival of cave-dwelling frogs. This can be done by creating cave preserves and by working to reduce habitat loss. Reducing pollution. Reducing pollution is also important for the protection of cave-dwelling frogs. This can be done by reducing the use of pesticides and other chemicals. Studying cave-dwelling frogs. Studying cave-dwelling frogs is important for understanding their biology and ecology. This information can be used to develop better conservation strategies for these frogs. Cave-dwelling frogs are fascinating and important creatures. By taking steps to protect them, we can help to ensure that they continue to thrive in the future. Frogs are known for being excellent jumpers. They have long, strong legs that allow them to propel themselves through the air. Frogs use their jumping ability to escape predators, catch prey, and defend their territory. The world record for the longest frog jump is held by Rosie the Riveter, a bullfrog who jumped 3.5 meters, 11.5 feet, at the Calaveras County Fair in Angels Camp, California in 1986. Rosie's jump was over 10 times her body length. Other frogs are also known for their impressive jumping abilities. For example, the African reed frog, Hyperolaus viridiflavus, can jump over 50 times its body length. The spring peeper, Pseudacris crucifer, can jump over 20 times its body length. Frogs use a variety of techniques to jump. Some frogs use a technique called the power stroke. In the power stroke, the frog bends its legs and stores energy in its muscles. When the frog releases the energy, it propels itself through the air. Other frogs use a technique called the flick. In the flick, the frog extends its legs and flicks its tail. This propels the frog through the air. Frogs can also use their jumping ability to move quickly through their environment. For example, the African reed frog can jump up to 40 meters, 131 feet, in a single night. Frog jumping is a fascinating and complex phenomenon. Frogs have evolved a variety of techniques to jump, and they use their jumping ability for a variety of purposes. Here are some of the ways that frogs use their jumping ability: to escape predators. Frogs can jump to escape predators such as snakes, birds, and mammals. To catch prey, frogs can jump to catch prey such as insects and other small animals. To defend their territory, frogs can jump to defend their territory from other frogs. To move quickly through their environment, frogs can use their jumping ability to move quickly through their environment, such as when foraging for food or searching for a mate. Frog jumping is an important part of frog biology and ecology. It helps frogs to survive, reproduce, and thrive in their environment. Nuptial pads are secondary sex characteristics that develop on the forearms and thumbs of male frogs during the breeding season. They are also known as thumb pads or nuptial excrescences. Nuptial pads are typically dark in color and have a rough, bumpy texture. The function of nuptial pads is to help male frogs grip females during amplexus, which is the mating position of frogs. Amplexus is necessary for internal fertilization, which is the type of fertilization that frogs use. Nuptial pads are made up of keratin, which is the same material that makes up human hair and nails. Keratin is a tough material that helps the nuptial pads to withstand the friction of amplexus. Nuptial pads are not present on female frogs. Female frogs typically have smooth skin on their forearms and thumbs. Nuptial pads develop on male frogs during the breeding season in response to testosterone, a male sex hormone. Testosterone levels increase in male frogs during the breeding season, which triggers the development of nuptial pads. Once the breeding season is over, testosterone levels in male frogs decrease and the nuptial pads shrink. Nuptial pads are an important part of frog reproduction. They help male frogs to grip females during amplexus, which is necessary for internal fertilization. Here are some of the features of nuptial pads. They are typically dark in color and have a rough, bumpy texture. They are made up of keratin, which is the same material that makes up human hair and nails. They are not present on female frogs. They develop on male frogs during the breeding season in response to testosterone. They shrink once the breeding season is over. Nuptial pads are a fascinating example of the many adaptations that animals have evolved to ensure their reproductive success. Frogs have a high metabolism, which means that they burn energy at a high rate. This is because they are ectotherms, or cold-blooded animals. Ectotherms rely on their external environment to regulate their body temperature. This means that frogs need to move around a lot to stay warm, which burns energy. Frog metabolism is also high because they have a large surface area to volume ratio. This means that they have a lot of skin relative to their size. Skin is a metabolically active tissue, meaning that it burns energy. Frog metabolism is highest during the breeding season. This is because frogs need to generate a lot of energy to produce eggs and sperm. Frog metabolism is also high during the summer months, when frogs are more active. Frog metabolism is important for their survival. It allows them to move around quickly, catch food, and escape predators. Frog metabolism also allows them to maintain their body temperature in a variety of environments. Here are some of the benefits of having a high metabolism. Frogs can move around quickly, which helps them to escape predators and catch prey. Frogs can maintain their body temperature in a variety of environments. Frogs can digest food quickly. Frogs can grow and develop quickly. However, there are also some drawbacks to having a high metabolism. Frogs need to eat a lot of food to maintain their energy levels. Frogs are more susceptible to heat stress. Frogs are more susceptible to dehydration. Frogs are more susceptible to disease. Overall, the benefits of having a high metabolism outweigh the drawbacks for frogs. A high metabolism allows frogs to survive and thrive in a variety of environments. Here are some ways that frogs conserve energy. Frogs rest in the shade during hot days. Frogs burrow into the ground to stay warm at night. Frogs eat a diet that is high in protein and fat. Frogs conserve water by staying in moist environments. Frogs are amazing creatures that have evolved a variety of adaptations to survive in their environment. A high metabolism is one of the key adaptations that allows frogs to thrive. Frogs in space have been a topic of scientific research and public fascination for decades. In 1970, NASA launched the Orbiting Frog Otolith, OFO, satellite, which carried 2 bullfrogs into orbit to study the effects of weightlessness on their inner ear balance system. The frogs survived the mission and returned to Earth safely, but their inner ear systems did show some signs of damage. Since then, frogs have been used in a number of other space experiments. In 1990, 6 Japanese tree frogs were flown on the Soviet Mir space station to study their reproduction and development in space. In 2001, a NASA experiment studied the effects of radiation on tadpoles. And in 2006, A European Space Agency experiment studied the effects of weightlessness on frog embryos. Frogs are a good model organism for space research because they are relatively small and easy to care for, and their physiology is similar to that of humans in many ways. By studying frogs in space, scientists can learn more about the effects of microgravity and radiation on the human body. This information could be used to develop new technologies and treatments to protect astronauts on future space missions. In addition to their scientific value, frogs in space are also a source of public fascination. The image of a frog floating in space is both whimsical and thought-provoking. It reminds us that we are just one small part of a vast and mysterious universe. Here are some of the potential benefits of studying frogs in space: to learn more about the effects of microgravity and radiation on the human body. To develop new technologies and treatments to protect astronauts on future space missions. To better understand the biology of frogs and other amphibians. To inspire public interest in science and space exploration. Of course, there are also some ethical concerns associated with sending frogs into space. Some people argue that it is wrong to subject animals to the risks of space travel, even for scientific purposes. Others argue that the potential benefits of the research outweigh the risks to the frogs. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to send frogs into space is a complex one. There are both scientific and ethical factors to consider. However, the research that has been done so far has provided valuable insights into the effects of microgravity and radiation on the human body. This information could help to ensure the safety of astronauts on future space missions. Frog farming is the practice of raising frogs for food or other commercial purposes. Frogs are a popular source of protein in many parts of the world, and frog farming can be a profitable business. There are two main types of frog farming: intensive farming and extensive farming. Intensive frog farming is characterized by high stocking densities and high levels of management. Extensive frog farming is characterized by lower stocking densities and less management. Intensive frog farming is more common in developed countries, while extensive frog farming is more common in developing countries. Frog farming can be done in a variety of different ways. Some frog farmers raise frogs in ponds, while others raise frogs in tanks or cages. Frog farmers typically feed their frogs a diet of insects, worms, and other small animals. Frogs can be harvested for food at any stage of their development, but they are typically harvested when they are between 3 and 6 months old. Frog meat is a good source of protein and low in fat. It can be cooked in a variety of different ways, such as frying, grilling, and baking. In addition to food, frogs are also raised for other commercial purposes, such as research and the pet trade. Frogs are used in a variety of scientific research applications, such as studying the effects of pollution and disease. Frogs are also popular pets in some parts of the world. Frog farming can be a profitable business, but it is important to do your research before starting a frog farm. There are a number of factors to consider, such as the type of frog you want to raise, the climate you live in, and the market for frog products in your area. Here are some of the benefits of frog farming. Frogs are a good source of protein and low in fat. Frogs are relatively easy to raise and care for. Frog farming can be a profitable business. Frogs are used in a variety of commercial applications, such as research and the pet trade. However, there are also some challenges associated with frog farming. Frogs are susceptible to a number of diseases. Frog farming can be time-consuming and labor-intensive. The market for frog products can be volatile. Overall, frog farming can be a rewarding and profitable business, but it is important to be aware of the challenges involved before starting a frog farm. Here are some tips for starting a frog farm. Do your research and choose a type of frog that is well suited to your climate and market. Develop a business plan and secure the necessary funding. Build or purchase appropriate facilities for raising frogs. Obtain the necessary permits and licenses. Purchase high-quality frogs from a reputable supplier. Provide your frogs with proper food, water, and shelter. Monitor your frogs for signs of disease and injury. Harvest your frogs at the appropriate time and market them to buyers. Frog farming is a complex and challenging business, but it can also be a very rewarding one. By following these tips, you can increase your chances of success. Frogs are some of the most threatened animals on the planet, with nearly 1/3 of all frog species at risk of extinction. This is due to a variety of factors, including habitat loss, climate change, and pollution. Despite these threats, there are many people and organizations working to conserve frogs and their habitats. One way to recognize and support these efforts is through conservation awards. Here are some of the most prestigious frog conservation awards. Save the Frogs. Amphibian Conservation Awards. These awards are given to individuals and organizations that have made significant contributions to frog conservation. Amphibian Survival Alliance Future Leaders of Amphibian Conservation Awards. These awards are given to emerging conservationists who are dedicated to protecting and preserving frogs. IUCN Red List of Threatened Species Conservation Partner Awards. These awards are given to individuals and organizations that have made significant contributions to the conservation of threatened species, including frogs. Whitley Fund for Nature Awards. These awards are given to early career conservationists who are working to protect endangered wildlife and habitats, including frogs. Disney Conservation Hero Awards. These awards are given to individuals who have dedicated their lives to conserving wildlife and wild places, including frogs. These awards are just a few examples of the many ways that frog conservation is being recognized and supported. By awarding these prizes, we can show our appreciation for the people and organizations that are working to save frogs and their habitats. In addition to the awards listed above, there are also a number of other awards and grants that are available to frog conservationists. These awards can be used to support a variety of activities, such as research, education, and habitat restoration. If you are interested in supporting frog conservation, I encourage you to learn more about the awards and grants that are available. You can also support frog conservation by donating to or volunteering with frog conservation organizations. Frogs are an important part of our ecosystems and they play a vital role in our environment. By supporting frog conservation, we can help to ensure that these amazing creatures continue to thrive for generations to come.